Good morning. Hi, Anne.
Good morning.
I see you're in the Christmas spirit with your plant behind you. Good morning, Julie. Morning, Vera and Doran. Everyone's coming at the same time, which is good, but I can't say good morning, everyone.
Can't hear you.
Morning, Sarah.
Morning.
Good morning, Charles and Bill.
Good morning.
Deanna, we can't hear you.
Jean.
I hear her. I
Yeah,
can hear her.
you can hear me.
Yeah. Diana, when you say that when you do Photoshop, you need 16 gigabytes, is that because of the layers?
Well, I meant to say Julie, not Julie. Sorry. So Charles, it's much more than layers. There's so many features now that Photoshop is using these neural filters. I mean, Photoshop is getting really powerful, and a lot of the features need a lot of computer oomph to make it work.
Now, is your class going to be online or is it going to be in person?
Which class?
Photoshop.
Photoshop. Oh, well, as I said before, right now, all my spring classes are scheduled for the
In person.
for the spring. They're all scheduled to be in person. I'm not sure if that's how it's gonna work out yet. We've all scheduled everything for in person, except for Bruce. But I'm thinking that, yeah, I have a very strong feeling that they might end up being online,
Okay.
but I'll be in touch. Yeah. Actually, just to ask you, why, either way, which would you prefer and why?
I'd rather have it be online because I have to take the bus to get to Wake. Now, Wake is not bad. It's not like going to the city campus there.
Yeah.
The hills and stuff, but I'd rather do it online if we could.
Yeah. So I'm getting that feedback from, as I said, from all my current online students.
And then I can use my own computer. I don't have to use the computer there.
Yeah.
So you store your stuff.
Problem is that we're getting less and less enrollment. That's the
Oh,
only reason. I'm like, I guess there's the people who are willing to take classes have been taking them, and that's it. They're not signing up again. And so every session, our classes are a little bit emptier because the online students are happy, but there's no new students coming in because they're not
it doesn't matter.
joining an online class. And so I'm trying to balance between the need for the community versus the need for the same people who had classes online for 2 years.
Doesn't matter. I'll go there. I'll just bring my laptop with me.
Yeah, it's a complicated decision to make there. And I know already that there's a couple of people here that if it goes online, they wouldn't be able to come because they've joined us from other cities, But on the other hand, there's local people who haven't been able to take classes because they haven't, done the online thing. But I don't know if it'll come back in spring, and that's the question. Will they know? Will they come? I don't know. So,
Deanna, is there any way to offer, I don't know, training to people that don't feel comfortable doing online, but they have the equipment to do it?
oh, we've tried for a year and a half. Everyone who's here is here. There's, I don't know how to explain it. If someone has resisted for since spring, they're not about to start right now.
Okay.
Whoever's online is online.
Yeah.
And whoever's not is just waiting it out at this point. It's hard to tell. And then there's the actual the issue of equity, where there's people who don't have the equipment, or the school's given them Chromebooks. But to say the truth, Chromebooks are not the best way to attend all these classes. And or they have slow Wi-Fi, and so then they get a hotspot. And for some people, all of that is just too much. Technologically, they barely maybe either understand the language or have a lot going on, or they have a house where they have no privacy and can't take a class online and stuff like that. So there's many reasons why by not offering I don't know. It's a hard choice.
Class anyway.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so hi everyone.
Good morning.
Ooh, Vera, your documents and desktop disappeared.
Ooh,
That's not good. That's a scary one, Vera. Not too scary. I'm just saying that, but actually that's not too scary because
have
the
my
box
iCloud.
that the issue isn't if the stuff inside them disappeared. If it's just the icon that disappeared, we can bring that one back. Want to share your screen so I can handle that while people are joining in, and then we'll
And I have a question.
jump in. So, all right. So,
It says, and then I went to iCloud
okay.
right
So
here.
hold on. Hold on. This is good, but go back. Well, actually, since you're here, go into the iCloud drive. Go into the iCloud drive just to see if your stuff is in here or not. Yeah, your desktop and documents are in here. Okay, so minimize this. Stay here in case we come back. Don't close it. Just minimize it. Cool. And now let's go to that Finder window again. Okay, so then what you have here is that you've lost your let me take over for a second because this isn't necessarily today's class. I just want to give you a hand and then I want to continue. So give me a yes to that request. Okay, so now don't move your mouse anymore. I'll move your mouse. All right, so you can move them
Okay.
to the iCloud. So I need
How
to
can I keep it there permanently? Because I don't remember even using the computer. I use my iPad, but I didn't use the computer. So how does it do this by itself?
So what I'm not finding is your actual, let me open this. It's like you've lost the references to your stuff. So let me just, I don't know how you lost them, but let me just get, oh my. Okay, this is not good. You have, ooh, at the users level, oh my. Okay, so guys, this is, you have all your stuff. Okay, so your stuff is not in the iCloud drive. But your stuff is not in the right place. It's in the users folder. Like here's your desktop folder, which is one that should be up here. I'm gonna throw it up there. And your documents. And throw it up there.
By moving it, does everything go with it?
No, this is just giving you this area here that I'm populating is just favorites. It's little shortcuts to these things. But this one is just not staying. 22 gigabytes in this one. Okay, so all the stuff that you have here, this is all material. Every single folder we're seeing except for 4. What you should be seeing here should only be desktop, documents, downloads, movies, pictures, movies, music, and pictures. That's the only thing you should be seeing here. Everything else that's here, this level, the user level should not have any files. All of the stuff you see here should be in your documents folder. This is, but the one that's your documents folder isn't opening up. It says it has 2.44 gigs and it's not opening up. So it's not, then you have copy, desktop copies, and then you have, I mean, this is pretty, wow. I wouldn't, sounds kind of harsh to say, but this is very messed up right now in a sense that there's stuff here. You have your main computer folders that are that the computer works with, aside your personal photos, right? And all of these photos, if you're going to keep photos in here that are macro photographs, should be inside the pictures folder. Product photo should be in the picture, like things should be in their right places, you know, versus in this, at this level. It's like things are, I don't know how to explain it other than this level should only have 5 folders, the ones that come in with a computer that you click on, and then that's your, you know, those are your, that's your desktop. So your desktop here on the right side, you have these folders on it. This is it. This is the only thing you should have in there. This is your downloads, and this is what you should have in your downloads. But what's missing, and I can't access right now for some bizarre reason, is your
Documents.
documents. It's just, it says it has 22 gigs in it, and I cannot open it. And it's not opening up. And when I double click on it, nothing's happening. And that's weird. That's very, very strange. Okay, I can't. Let's talk to this during break, and today I don't have time after class. In fact, I need to try to finish, if necessary, a tad early, or at least right on time without any more speaking, because I have a meeting that starts at 12 that I'll be 15 minutes late for. So maybe let's talk a little bit during, let me stop your share during break, or next time we meet, I'll have more time. Okay, next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
All right. So just so that you can see really quickly, you guys, every time I share my Finder with you guys and stuff like that, and tell you what should be in there, if you see something very different, please let me know. But just so you know, when you go into a users folder, here's the user, me. This is it. This is the only thing that should be in your user folder, the one with your name, Vera Dietrich. You should only have these 5: downloads, movie, music, pictures, public, and in this case, because my desktop and documents in the cloud. If your desktop and documents are in your computer, then you should also see desktop and documents. That's it. That's the 7 folders that should be here. 0 other files. And then all your personal files should be in one of these, right? In your case, you have a lot of photos. They should all be here under the pictures folder, or in your documents folder to be accessed from anywhere. It doesn't matter, but it should certainly not be at this level, because this level is this is kind of like the house that you buy has these 5 or 7 rooms, and that everything needs to go into one of them. Okay. By having all that stuff in the midst of these 5 important folders, I don't know what's happening to your documents folder right now, but whatever it is, it's not happy. So we'll have to figure out. Okay.
I have a question.
Julie has a question that's in reference to what we're doing now. So yeah, what's your question, Julie?
I tried to set up a Yahoo account yesterday,
Yeah.
you know, like you had suggested for coupons and stuff from stores. I can't do it. I am in my internet account. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
So you're trying to set up a junk account, so to say?
right.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
never set it up from here. You have to create it first at Yahoo. Here you enter an existing Yahoo. Okay,
Okay.
so you have to go to open a web browser
Okay,
and go to yahoo.com or Yahoo Mail. Looks like you have a Dan.
yeah, and he has never used it. He doesn't even know why it's there, so.
All right,
Okay.
well, good, and use that one as your junk mail if you want. But otherwise, go to where it says Dan for a second. Click on that and sign out of this account. So down at the add or manage accounts. Wait, go back to the name Dan. Yeah, and then add or manage accounts. So there's that one, more Dan J at yahoo.com. If he never uses it, adopt it and use it, or click on add or manage accounts and make yourself a new one. And we won't sit through all of it, but say add another account and then make yourself an email, do everything you need to do. When you're done, that email and that password, that's what you enter into the internet. Okay. So it's like you go to the company, you go to Google to make an email, you go to Yahoo to make an email, you go wherever you go to make an email, but you don't go into the Mac. The internet accounts, you add any account that is already existing. So you first need to make it exist. You need to create it. Okay. And they might ask you some personal questions to create it and stuff like that. So I'm going to, down there, this, in the bottom, it says create an account. That would be if you have it in existence. So I'm going to stop your share because you're going to
Okay.
have to answer, you know, private things to create it. And then once you have it created, then you go to the internet accounts and you click on Yahoo accounts, and they'll say, what's your email? And you put in this email that you just created, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. I know
Well,
you're
the
busy. You're busy
problem is
answering
it's-
questions, so,
Yeah, no, it says sign in using your Yahoo account.
but you don't have one yet. So I said,
know,
don't go to
that's why-
site and go down to create account. Right under that, when I said go to create account.
Oh,
Under
Okay,
sign
thank
in, there is a create
Yeah.
account. And that's going to start asking you a lot of personal stuff. That's why I stopped your share.
Okay.
Create your account, make that new email be your new email, and then in internet accounts, you enter it. So when it's done being created, go ahead and ask me. So guys, that's a good thing to ask this question because I've been telling you guys to make extra emails for you know, for shopping or junk or stuff like that. And that's what you need to do. If you want to create a Yahoo one, you go to Yahoo and you start a new one. If you want to create a Gmail, you go to Google, you have to create a new one. So you would go to wherever, if you already have an account, and say, add an account and make a new one. Answer all the basic questions that they have you answer, install a new password. They probably have you ask you questions about your mother's maiden name or stuff like that. And then when you're done and you've set up that account, then you come to the system preferences, into the system preferences, and then you go into internet accounts, and then you go, okay, now she's going to have a new Yahoo account. So she'll click on Yahoo and it'll say sign in, and there she'll put in her new one, but she's not creating it here. Here you can't create. Here you can only put one that exists. See, it doesn't give us the choice create like it did be like where she went. This is an existing one, so she needs to go make it exist first. All right. So is anyone else trying to make a new account that might have had that question? No.
Gianna,
Yes.
I did, but I already have a Yahoo account a long time ago. So
Mhm.
said all I have to do is go back to that and then create another one or edit it. Or
I mean, if you have one that you're using, is that what you mean? You want to make a new one?
I have
Or
not
what?
been using it. So what I want to do is activate it so that I can put all those coupon and junk mail stuff. Because
Uh-huh.
everyone seems to be using my personal email, Montaro, and I thought that was only for my friends and family. And all of a sudden, when I go to the filtered junk, most of the junk mails, dirty ones even, were in that Montaro@gmail.com.
Yeah. Yeah. So go to Yahoo Mail
I will-
and just go to Yahoo, and maybe it's already set up, just like Dan was set up already there for Julie. Maybe your name just appears, it's already there and your computer remembers it. And then you can just start
Where do I
using
go?
it.
You
What's
said
that?
go to where do I go first? Go to the Safari and go to
Open
Yahoo.
Safari and go to yahoo.com and then see if it shows an existing email there. And if it doesn't, you can, if you remember it, you can use the one you had, you can enter it. Go ahead and do that and then tell me if you find it or not. Let me look at all the other questions that are appearing in the chat. Good morning, everyone. Question, yeah, last night my laptop updated, installed something, and I found and recovered items. Okay, so
So I no, I don't know where to find my Yahoo email. Let's forget this for now because let's just move on and I'll take care of this much later. Thank you.
okay, all right. So you said that, so you mentioned that you got, your computer did an update and then that you ended up having a recovered email. So it seems to me that go ahead and share your screen, because what seems to me is that, see, you guys are questioning, I don't know if in the chat, she says that she found something called recovered items. after an update, and that's things usually, and I just want to make sure, that's why I'm asking her to check. Usually that means, so relocated items, I was going to say, yeah, not recovered. So see that folder that says relocated items on her desktop?
Where are you seeing it? I'm sorry.
Right there. You probably have us in the way.
Okay, all right.
You have all your blue folders, and the second one down is called relocated items. No, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the one. Okay. So go ahead and open that folder. And anyone who doesn't upgrade, see how it even, lots of people are like, what is this? So see, it even says, what are relocated items? Go ahead and open that. What are relocated items? And
Over here.
yeah, the question, what are relocated items? A lot of you guys who upgraded or updated your computers might have one of those. And basically, when you upgrade, some files just can't be moved for some reasons or another. There's some things happening. The system has changed and it's configuring items. It's not stuff that you even handle. It's stuff that the computer, it's part of the system files, configuration files of the system files that now are not needed anymore. Okay, so say that you had some configurations that don't match right now with the new system. Maybe you set something up, 8 years ago that's been coming up every time with you as a grandparenting in that choice. Finally, 8 upgrades later, that choice just isn't available anymore at this point in this upgrade. So they just can't bring them up. So say maybe you had a special button to do some function, and after a while it's just not sustainable by this new platform, so that button will stop working or something like that. And that's what this kind of thing is. And some of them are really, maybe you had a screensaver that you preferred and they don't support that screensaver anymore. So that would be the most visible one. But the typical thing, like I used to have a ringtone for 10 years. I had a ringtone that I made out of a piece of music that we owned. And this last phone that I bought just won't accept it anymore, because now they're much more careful with, it's a piece of music that's commercial. And now I don't have the rights to that piece of music. So I just don't have that ringtone anymore. So things like that, things that you don't think about, that just are happening underground. Okay. So, so go back, close this explanation. Yeah,
Right.
close that. And then if you open that configuration folder, if there's anything in there, go ahead and click on that little arrow. And a lot of you guys who've been upgrading probably have this. See the folder called configuration right there? Click on that little arrow.
I don't see that.
It's right there, right above what you just opened, called what are relocated items. There's a folder called, yeah. So click on that little arrow to open it up. And I don't know.
Click
Open
on the private and the.
I don't know what. There's a folder called. Yeah, see, it's just like stuff. See those things? There's stuff that's part of systems. It's not going to be files that you recognize. Okay. It's system stuff and you just don't need it. Okay. So don't worry. And if you look at this stuff isn't even, this folder is, can you make this window a little bit smaller so people can see to the background? Just go make it a little bit, yeah, grab it from where you just were and make it a bit skinnier. I want to see.
Can I approve? Can you take control and I will approve?
Okay. All right.
For me to see.
That's fine. Yeah, because you probably have Zoom here on this side. Okay. So now I just wanted to show you this. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys that this folder here, as opposed to this, you see how this one has a little arrow there?
Yeah.
What does that mean, you guys? What does that little guy mean? Does anyone remember?
It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut, or in Mac parlance, it's an alias, right? But that's what it is. So it's telling you somewhere in your computer, we couldn't install, this didn't work for the new update. So we put in a little folder here to warn you, okay? They throw it in here for you to see it like you did. You saw it and you went, there's a folder here. What's this, right? Well, if you look at it, when you opened it, what we're looking at, it's really inside of your folder called shared, called user. So it's not even in any of your personal folders. It's not even in your stuff. So you can forget about it, just leave it there. You can delete it or not. You can leave it in your computer. But what you surely can do is delete it from here, because this is just pointing to that, and you don't need this folder again. You just don't need it. You just need it. They're just warning you. Just want to let you know these files aren't in there anymore. That's all they wanted to do with this. So now you can right click and delete the alias. See, just the link to it. If you ever want to get to it again, you'll have it under shared relocated items. And to say the truth, you can even delete these, because by being there, they're just no good anymore. But I'm not going to delete them right now. All I'm going to say is you're done. It was just a warning, someone telling you what had happened, and that's all. And you got an update of some kind, and that happened there. You still haven't done the update to Monterey that they're asking you to do here. So you're fine. There you go. It's stuff that just the system can't use anymore because they change. It's like
Oh.
saying, we don't carry green color anymore. So out it goes, you know, that kind of thing. All right.
Thank you.
Deanna,
You're
I have,
welcome.
I have a question as I'm doing the sign up for Yahoo.
Let
How
me,
honest- How honest do you have to be with the answers? In other words, can I make up a phone number? Do I have to tell them my actual birthday?
that's a good question. That here's the thing. If you're making, and I was about to say, wait, let's move on to something else that everyone needs to hear, but the question is one that is a good one and everyone needs to hear, which is, if this email that you're making is going to be a real one, okay, I mean, it's a real email that you're going to use for when you don't want to give them your real email, but it's still a real email, right?
Right.
So
What about birthday and phone number?
yeah, so wait, so if something goes wrong at some point, or if you stop using it at some point, say that, like, for example, the one that you had there, Dan, if it's never been used before and your computer doesn't memorize it, or your computer crashes, if you later want to get on it, say that you want to come to my house and open up Safari and check your Yahoo email, it will ask you things to make sure you are you.
Oh,
So it'll ask you things that you need to remember what you answered today. Does that make sense, you guys? If
Yeah.
you have a set of fake, I have a fake phone number. It's a number I owned many years ago that I always give when I don't want to give my number, right? But it's always the same one, so that if I ever get asked for a phone number in an account that is truly fake, I can give that number and I know that that's right. So
okay.
to the extent that you need to do that, use the, now, technically and supposedly, no one in things like emails, if you give them your phone number, they don't sell that, or no one would be using Gmails or Yahoo or anything like that. So technically they don't sell that information. That is for sure that they don't sell that. What you can't be sure of is that they won't be hacked, right? And someone will get it. But then again, that's the same with if you have a Macy's account or a whatever, a Bank of America account. You can't promise that, and no one will ever be hacked. So will they be able to get it if they have it? Will it be the real one? Yeah. So I just don't want to say you that it's completely safe. But on the other hand, it's got to be safe enough that if you get asked for it a year from now, 3 years from now, your answer will be the same. So don't invent a mother's maiden name. You know, find some a pet, you know, find something that's real enough that you will always answer the same things. That's all I can say. If you want to give them fake information, it has to be retrievable by you, because that's the only way you will retrieve that account in the future when for some reason or another you've lost access to it.
Okay, thank you.
All right?
I didn't want to
You're
get
welcome.
arrested for giving our previous phone number in Austin, which,
Yeah, well, the question about that, especially if you give us something in Austin, is that they might think with that area code that you live in Austin, although now that people move all over the place, it doesn't, I don't think that it matters. Also, if you left that number, someone else probably has it. After a few years, they give it to someone else. So I always feel a little bit guilty about this one that I give. It's just like, yikes, you know. But anyway.
okay, thank you.
yeah.
That's where I stopped because I didn't want to get arrested for giving false information, but I remember you
Yeah.
saying you used a phone number you never used, so.
Yeah, and I don't do that. I only do that for true junk, for true like, oh, I need to access this information and you won't let me in until I sign up. Okay, then you'll get pure junk because I'll never come back in again. But if it's something real, you're signing up for an email that you will be using from a reputable company, I wouldn't necessarily lie about this kind of stuff. No. But for like something I'm trying to access, oh, I'll give you a free ebook if you give me your email. I'm like, yeah, okay, here's my junk email. You know what I mean? It's just not if it's a Yahoo company trying to set you up with an email that you use a lot, that's okay to give them your real info. That's okay, and important that whatever information you give them, you can remember. Okay, don't invent a little Poochie dog if you never had a Poochie dog, because in a year you won't remember if you called him, Smoochie or Poochie, right? Give them something that you can, your next favorite pet animal or something like that instead of your favorite pet that you've ever had. I don't know.
I have
I've
trouble
always-
remembering my password. They said, what is
Yeah.
your password? Oh, it's this. Oh no, what happened? I don't know what happened.
Yeah. It's hard. These things are hard. Okay,
Okay,
guys,
thank you.
you're welcome. So let's move on, and this might answer a little bit your question, Marcia. She's talking about contacts, and we're going to begin to talk about those things right now. Not yesterday, 2 days ago, when we were talking about, I'm sharing my screen now, about email, I continued talking past 12:15. And so some of you had to leave. So I just want to show really quickly something that I showed like in a minute and a half. I'll show it again. And don't forget that you guys can always go to recordings, but you're not expected to say past 12:15. If you guys see that I did put an alarm on right now that if it works, it'll warn me that 12:15 is coming. Because what I try to do, even if I stay behind, is answering questions. It's not showing new stuff, that because you're not supposed to be here after 12:15. So I try not to show anything new at that point. But last week and the week before, it kind of just kept going because I didn't notice it was 12:15. So if some of you guys want to see the last 15 minutes or so of the last recordings, you're welcome to do that. And if you left early, you have to, to catch up. But I just wanted to say quickly that what I showed was things like drafts, which you might or not have, but what a draft is something that you begin to write and you never finished writing. So maybe you began, now I don't have, why would I even have a draft? I was going to say in my junk mail. So I guess I never sent this one. Okay. So things that I'm writing but don't end up writing, they're there since 2018. I'd have to go and see why these never went. At some point I was writing something and I never sent it, and that's what these are. Okay, so say, and I'm gonna be in my pipeline email, say that I write a new email right now and I say testing drafts. Okay, testing drafts, and I'm sitting here and I'm I'm about to send it to someone. I don't know, I'll send it to myself. I'll send it to myself and I'm about to write it, and then I don't write it. Okay, so say that I don't write it and it sits there in the background, and that's the problem. Sometimes they just kind of sit there. If I go back, it's not here. If I go to sent, it's not in sent because I never sent it, right? But if these are the ones that I just sent. But if I go into my pipeline drafts, there it is, it's testing drafts. It's like, it's waiting for me to send it. I started writing it and I never sent it. See that? I never sent it to anyone. So there it sits. So go check your drafts and see if you have any. If you don't have any drafts, that means everything you write, you've always sent. Okay, that's all it means. So if I now go, oh, if it's sitting here from whenever it was sitting here, I'll know that this one never went out. Okay. And I don't know. In fact, I want to check and see how come these didn't send or what it is. Oh, look at that. See here, I sent everyone. I was writing an email for my digital science technique class, and for some reason it didn't get sent in May 2021. Who knows, but it's sitting here. Okay. I would probably went and found another email and wrote it a different way, and I left it there. So for the most part, you can read them and get rid of them, or read them and notice why, oh, someone has never gotten your information because it's still here and you thought you'd sent it. Okay. And then sent, again, it's everything you have sent from iCloud or from whatever it is, or all your things that you've ever sent is what's in here. So this morning I sent this to my husband. This morning I sent this one to you guys and to my Excel 3. These are the 2 classes I have today. So it shows here, I sent it today. Okay. All right. Now the one thing I had told you I would show you today is the VIPs. The VIPs is you choosing, it's a little bit like a search folder, as much as I make these smart mailboxes here and I have to make them. But if you never made one, you can also have certain people set up as VIPs. And then this begins to show up. So go to someone, I'm going to go to my inbox and I'm going to go and say that this person here, Lens Culture Weekly, is a VIP for me. Like I want this to always receive anything I get from this person. I don't want to get lost in the mess of stuff. So I'm going to go over here and I can see this little arrow that shows up, Lens Culture Weekly. When I hover over the set, right now it's not there, but when I hover over the name, a little arrow appears over here. I can click and I can add this person to my VIP list.
Oh,
And then when you do that, you begin to have a VIP choice. So once you do that, okay. And then you go to your VIPs and then you see everything from a certain person or another.
oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So I have my mom as a VIP. I have a few people as my VIPs. And when you open it up, at some point, I'm going to take some of these out. This is when I would see I'm not going to have these people as VIPs anymore because I'm not working with them right now, right? They're not VIPs anymore. So I'm going to remove from VIPs. I'm going to remove from VIPs. There you go. People that you don't want as a VIP anymore. Okay. So I'm going to remove, et cetera, et cetera. Just people that I had a whole project going with that I'm not working with anymore, but these are people that are still my VIPs for me. So I'm going to, there we go. So now my VIPs are those. Okay. So it's kind of like another way to find the stuff that really matters. Okay. Did everyone set up at least 1 or 2 VIPs?
Are they still in your in basket too, or do you have to daily?
No,
check?
they're still in my in basket. So let me see if I got anything from.
So it doesn't move it from your in basket to the
No.
VIP. Okay, because I
No.
didn't want another step of checking.
So here there's something from my husband that I had flagged, but see the star there?
Oh, yeah,
This is a VIP.
okay.
Jack, my husband is a VIP. So an email from him, there's another
It should be.
from Jack
Perfect.
that's a VIP. And so when I go to my VIPs, I can see that same shoes for Joaquin. It's there. It's in 2 places. It's like a search through my whole inbox to bring me up only the people that I really want to read today, because I only have 1 minute and I only want to read from the most important
Oh.
people in my life. And I don't want to read every single thing that comes in.
Cool, thank you. That's
Okay.
great. Yeah,
And you do that by going right here and adding, or once they're already there, then removing. So if this person is from now on going to be a VIP, then I would call her add to VIPs. But if not, then Santa Barbara, then a VIP. So whatever you consider really important is a VIP. Okay. All right. So that's it for what I needed to show you here.
so you can't do it from your contacts list. You have to do it from an in basket.
Yeah,
Email.
because this is a mailbox that you're setting up, really. You're setting up a
Right.
mailbox. It's really, it's kind of like as much as one of these mailboxes can be set up for 2 or 3 different emails. You could have done it that way, the smart mailboxes, but this is
Okay.
just a kind of a quicker way. or
Okay.
A different
Great,
way
thank you.
to do very similar. Is a VIP folder within a certain mail? No, it's, good question. It is based on, that is a good question. It is based on a certain email. So when I click on this person here, I see that there's many emails for him, right? So this person, that's interesting. Let me see. From an old email from him that might have come from like his work account. Yeah, so it is from any of his emails. It's from your contacts. Anyone that in your contact, any email that this person sends to you will be a VIP.
Thank you.
And I'm going to show you now what I mean by contacts. We're going to go into contacts now, and I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to stop my share for a minute and tell you about contacts. Oh, well, actually, one last thing. Let me share my entire screen with you and show you something that might be happening to you guys. This is very important. My entire desktop. There we go. Okay, so you know, guys, how I wrote that draft, and I told you that if you know where to go, there's the draft, and that's the one that I did or didn't write, right? You saw me writing testing drafts today. There it is. But when I wrote it, I left it open. And many times, some of you guys insist upon, and I don't recommend, that when you go read something, so the first person who joins the meeting, I get a warning, right? So Sarah Patchen has joined your meeting is a warning that I get. After that, I don't get any more warnings than I do at 8:54, because I didn't open my class yet at 8:54 a.m. So what happens is my email tells me, hey, someone's there. Hello, hello, right? And I have it set up for that. But I don't need, do I need to have this email here anymore? That's it, I'm done. Sarah's here, class is open. Do I really need it? No. So I can delete it. But a lot of people, to read emails, instead of just clicking to read them here, what they do is they double click them. If any of you guys double clicks to read your emails, right? And then you leave it open. So I'm going to just like click here again. See how I don't even see it? And then I'm going to double click on this one to read it. And then I'm going to double click on this one to read it. And then I'm going to double click on this one to read it. So people who double click on their emails to read them. Okay, so right now I'm like double clicking on a bunch of read emails. Guess what's happening to all those email windows? If I move this big one out, they're all staying there. Every time you double click on emails, stuff stays. So here's a trick to find if you have any of these emails opened up that you forgot to close. It's a lot of work, because if you double click to read something, then you have to close it, right? If you double click to read this, you need to close it. If you don't close it, they stay open. So go to window, and you will see here, go to the window up here. So you have to be in mail. Mail has to be open. When you see mail right there, go to window, and down here you will see every single thing that's open. And I've got a lot of emails open. So now I click on this one, Sarah Patchen has joined your meeting. It comes up and I can close it. Because sometimes you don't even know where they are. They're under other stuff. And then I click on, oh, there's my testing drafts that I had never, and I close it. But this one is a draft. So it says you haven't sent it. Do you want to save it? So if it's a draft, it'll tell you, oh, so do you want to keep having it in the drafts or not? And I'm like, oh, no, I never meant to send this one. So I'll say, don't save. When I go back to drafts, it'll be gone. Then let me go to all of these other ones. I don't need it. Okay, so close all your extra windows. And then you'll have it cleaner, and you won't have a bunch of weird stuff hanging out. Okay. So I want you guys to know that that's important. Okay. So now I have nothing there. If I move this in or out, if I look at my window, just my inbox, this is the only thing that's open. This is, and then to read them, I'll just click and read them here. Click and read them here. click and read them here, click and read them here. Okay, you don't need a double click. So
No.
did that clean it up for anyone? Does anyone find lots of loose emails hanging about when they did that? I see that a lot, people double clicking to read their emails, okay, when they share their screen with me. And I know that's a window that stays open. So now that's how you could find them. If it only says inbox, then you're fine. All right. So let me actually, I'm gonna minimize this email because I don't, right now I'm not talk about it, but there's a different way, something I haven't shown you yet, which isn't necessarily minimizing. If I minimize, I have to go to this little yellow button and it goes and sits over here. The minimize thing sits over here waiting for me to open them up again, right next to the trash. Okay, so they minimize, it goes, oops. When I'm ready to use the mail again, I have to click in here. Or I'm going to minimize it again, or I can just click again on my mail icon and boom, it pops up. So it's the same, but I'm not closing the program. And how do I know I'm not closing the program? Because a little line dot is still available under the dock. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. But another thing you can do is you can hide a program. So say that I have 2 or 3 different things open. And I do right now, I have system preferences, I have my Zoom open, right? So what if I want to hide, see up there, it says Zoom. Watch, this is important. Up next to my Apple, it says Zoom. It doesn't say mail. So my mail that I'm seeing here is kind of grayed out. It's not my main one. When I have a different program open, I can say hide others. So now everything else that's on my computer will close up visually. And it didn't minimize, it's not there. It's just hiding. So for a lot of people are like, oh, but how, you know, well, you know, it's still open because it has a dot, but it's hiding. Okay, if I click on it again, up it comes. I can also say, okay, I don't want to close my mail right now because I'm going to keep working on it, but I want to hide it for a minute because I just want to see other stuff. So I go to mail and hide mail. So I can always either hide the program I'm working with to see others, or I can hide the others. So it's a good way to clean up your desktop for a little. So now I'm going to hide mail. It stays
That's cool.
open and I'm just hiding it.
I
Now
did
be
not
careful
know
to
that.
not have it. What's that?
And that was really cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Something else I got today.
Yeah. So especially we're going to start opening many little things right now. We're going to be opening contacts, calendars, just different things. And when you have a ton of stuff open, a lot of windows get in the way. So right now, say that I have a Finder window open, boom. Mail open, boom. Then I'm going to have another, I'm going to open 2 different Finder windows. Okay, so now I have 2 Finder windows. Then I'm going to open contacts, which are going to have us open right now. So everyone go and open your contacts. And then I have notes. So let me just open a bunch of stuff. It's very typical to have a window that looks, what if I had Photoshop or other stuff open, right? It gets kind of messy, right? Like a lot of stuff. But what if I'm actually in the middle of using all of this for some reason? Sometimes I do. I'm working in Photoshop, but at the same time, I'm checking my emails. At the same time, I'm having to make some notes or whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And so I'm ready to clean this up a little bit. I don't want to see all this stuff. So I can choose. I'm going to select my contacts, which is what I want to work on next with you guys. And then I'm going to go up to contacts and say, just hide everything else. Just hide everything else. Thank you. And it's like, phew, that's good. Okay. Now I'm working only on the thing I want to work. And when I want to bring the other stuff up, I just need to do is just click on them, click on them, click on them, and they're all open. They'll come up again. Or what I can do is, okay, I'm done with contacts for a minute. I'm going to hide contacts. Let me go on to notes, right? So you can take turns and notice there's a good shortcut here, Command H. And so the good news is that if you really use this a lot, which I do, because I like a clean desktop, I only want to have in front of me the stuff I'm using, is that there you go. I just hit the Command H with my fingers. You didn't see me go there, and I hit it. And so there you go. Now I can't hide Zoom or I wouldn't see you guys. So if you did hide Zoom and you don't see me or anything anymore, just click on Zoom again. so that all the windows pop up again. So don't hide Zoom. Zoom, if you have anything you need to move out, you just need to do a minimize. But the rest you can hide. Okay, did this work for you guys? Hiding and opening up again, hiding others, hiding the same one that you're using. Any questions about that? No questions? It's working? Okay. I'm looking at the questions here in the chat and I'm seeing the VIP. But that was from a while ago. Marcia, did you get the whole VIP thing or do I need to show it again?
I just can't find or didn't see where you clicked on
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
All right, so just go find someone that you want to have be a VRP. So maybe I want Beth Palershot to be my VIP. I hover over her name and I click on that little arrow and then I add to VIPs.
Okay, thank you.
So you just need to, maybe I want Patricia to be a VIP. I go over here. You need to find their name and click at the VIPs. Okay. That's it, but not at this level. At this level is just a little, you have to go to the email itself and that's where you find the actually. Okay, that's, by the way, I've never shown you this, but if someone is really annoying you, you can also block them. So this is different than moving them to junk, but if you have someone or something that you don't want to see anymore, usually you don't block someone unless it's the way I see blocking is from when you keep getting stuff from someone or something that you don't want, for the most part is when it's a negative thing, like it's harassing you or something like that. You just, they keep finding a way to to email you, but you just block them. Putting them in the junk works in a way, but blocking them is much more complete. If you block that contact, you just won't see them. You won't see their stuff in the junk or not in the junk. It won't go to junk. You just won't see them. Okay. They're
Is
just
that
gone
the-
from your site.
Where does it go? Yeah.
that-
Where
is
does
that-
it go? Do you have to empty a basket or something?
No, that's why you just don't see things from that person anymore. They don't go anywhere. I don't know. The
Deanna?
system keeps them somewhere. You don't see them. So 1 second. But I don't know if it accumulates. I don't know what, because you can unblock that contact later and you'll still see that person's things, right?
Okay.
So you can't handle them like throwing them in the junk.
Okay.
And if it's pure spam, blocking them won't work. Because if you go to junk, hold on, here's my Yahoo. Look at that. This one I had emptied out the other day, remember? 2 days ago, I emptied out my Yahoo junk. If I go and try to say, go to this one and block this person, this is total spam. This is absolute spam. If I block this contact, the spamming people have bazillions of different addresses that they have. They'll send you from a different address. You're already, it's like blocking a spam isn't really useful. It's more like a real person that you can block. Like you have an ex-husband who keeps writing to you and you don't want to hear from them anymore, or something like that. I'm being kind of nasty there, but like blocking spam isn't really helpful because spammers spam you from millions of emails. You block them one today, but you get 10 tomorrow. Like it doesn't really affect spam. It does affect if you purposely did sign up to say Michael's, like I go to Michael's because it's the real one. If I sent Michael's to junk, but if Michael's isn't junk and it's always the same address, which it is, and I block this one, then I will never get stuff from Michael's again. That's a real block because they don't send from 10,000 emails. But
Okay.
spammers, true spammers, they're gonna, all this, which is true junk that is there, that will come from all over the place and it doesn't help to junk them. You were trying to ask a question, Marcia, and I interrupted your question. Or
Yeah,
I finished
thank
my
you.
answer.
Yeah, thank you. Is that as effective as to block them as unsubscribe?
If it's okay, you can unsubscribe from a real place like Michael's, right?
Right.
Which, as Yolanda mentioned the other day, sometimes you unsubscribe and they don't pay attention to you. There's this one charity that I'm really upset with because I gave to them a few years in a row and I changed who I want to give my money to. And I've unsubscribed from their list because they send me like 3 times a week. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I don't mind getting something once a month, sometimes from people that I like or support, or even sometimes once a week if there's someone I really like, but I don't want to get something 3 times a week. And these people really bugged me. So I unsubscribed from them. And I still keep getting them. And that really bugs me because I've unsubscribed 3 times. And this is a charity I give money to. I'm not happy. I wrote to them. So sometimes, you know, they're desperate. They keep sending you emails. The unsubscribed is on their system. And who knows what they do with that? Maybe they gather all the emails that unsubscribe and now they only send me once a month or something, but instead of all the time, but I'm still getting stuff from them. That's what unsubscribe is. So it's a real person and you don't want to receive something from Michael's anymore, go to their website and unsubscribe clearly. But if it's junk, you can't unsubscribe from junk. It's just, they're spamming you. There's no subscription, even though it says, oh, click on this to unsubscribe if you don't want to. Geico Auto Insurance from Plant Breed Shop. If you like to unsubscribe, go here. That's like the worst thing you can do because this is not a company, right? There's no way to go. You don't know where to go. This is definitely not the real Geico. This is definitely not something you want to write back to them. And if you go here, then you're actually linking to them. So this is, don't unsubscribe. There's some emails that come in. Let me just show you. Some emails come in from something saying this message is from a mailing list. Okay. So that's different. And you can say unsubscribe, right? So this message is from a mailing list. So be careful. Sometimes this has been happening for a few years now. I don't want to subscribe. This is a mailing list. What mailing list am I in? I'm under the SPCC all employees list. And if I am subscribed, I won't be getting anything else from everyone who writes to the all employees. And this is stuff I need to know. But if you get something from a mailing list from someone you really don't want to hear from anymore, I don't have much stuff I don't want to hear from anymore, but let's see. Target. If I click from here, this is from measure, and click from here, then you're unsubscribing through Apple. I have never done that. I don't know how useful it is. I don't know if it's more or less useful than unsubscribing from them. I would assume that unsubscribing from them is better than unsubscribing from here, but I haven't tried it. So anyone who see this message mailing list, anytime that you're on the Highlines mailing list now, and they can tell because it's a list, it's an email that's gone out to 40 people. In fact, the emails that I send you, somebody go to one of the emails that I send you, go to Pipeline and click on the one that I send you in the morning. Does it say it's from a mailing list? Or does it say nothing? See, this one is not from a mailing list. Does it say, does anyone of my emails to you come in with saying this is from a
It
mailing
just
list?
says to undisclosed recipients.
Okay, good. So that's because I'm sending it from BCC. Okay. That means that that's good. I just suddenly occurred to me that I just wanted to check because I don't get the same email. I don't get them the same way as you because I send them because you guys are on my, so to say, class mailing list, but I send them because now I have to send them personal and private emails. I actually send them myself versus if I were to go to the school system and send them from the school system, it only goes to the roster, to the Pipeline emails. And that would come from a mailing list from class CRN number, da, 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 da. But then that wouldn't go to your private emails. So, but these I have to write and make myself, adding your emails myself because school doesn't use private emails. They only let us non-credits people reach out to you through the non-credits because we haven't been able to train you guys yet to use Pipeline.
Yeah, I got one this morning or yesterday from Norma Egley, and I'm checking it and it says this message is from a mailing list. Interesting.
Well, because she has the whole MailChimp set up for all her students. And she
Right.
sends it through MailChimp. I'm still sending them without MailChimp. But so whenever you unsubscribe, you have to tell me yourself. And I unsubscribed you myself by taking you off the mailing list. But if you are on a mailing list like MailChimp that she uses, then if you click on subscribe, the system takes you off its list and that's it. It's easier to handle than me having to go in and subscribe. but for a couple of different reasons, I still do them by hand, whatever. Okay, all right, so yeah, I see, here's Norma's, I got it too. It's one, I just got it somewhere today. Here it is. And yeah, that says this is from a mailing list, and you can unsubscribe if you want, or you can click on that to unsubscribe, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Which by the way, reminds me, it's time for me to let you know, because next week you guys can start signing up. So I need to send you mine. I'm never very good, but here we go. And Robert New Zealand with history. This one just came in a second ago, and it's from a mailing list. Okay. So try that, unsubscribe from a few, and then write down the names of the things you unsubscribed for using that, and then let me know if nothing else has shown up. If anything that has shown up, it would be this week, Giving Tuesday. So anyone who's ever going to email about stuff has been emailing for this week. I did a lot of cleanup this week. Anyway, so one thing I have not shown you yet with email is how to handle from here, writing and sending and receiving and copies, blind copies, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of that right now, and then we're going to connect to contacts as well. So actually, this is the only part that's always easier to teach when I'm in person with you guys instead of here, but we'll make it work. Okay, so go ahead and click your Pipeline account inbox. Okay, so we're just going to work only with Pipeline. I don't want anyone sending their personal email to anyone. We're just going to use Pipeline right now. And we're going to go ahead and up at the top, you'll see this little icon that says new message. For those of you who have Monterey or Big Sur, it looks a little bit further to the right, but excuse me. But you'll see the icon that has a little piece of paper with a pencil. That's the new message. If you don't see the word new message, right click somewhere on the gray. You might see icons only. You would then have to find the right icon and hover over it to say compose a new message. So I recommend, until you learn all these guys, to right click and have icon and text. That way it's easier. So go ahead and click on new message. And it'll say from, and it's already saying from Pipeline. Why? Because I selected Pipeline right there. So when I make a new message, it's already coming from Pipeline. I'm going to close this. I'm going to select Yahoo. When I say new message, it's coming from Yahoo. See? So it already knows where it should come from. But say that for any reason, so go ahead and close that, just test this again. Go to another of your emails and say new message, and you'll see that it comes from, okay? And then close them all and go back to Pipeline.
Yeah, and if I hit new message, that's for me to type a new message.
Yeah. But it says, who's it from? It's from you. What's your question?
Oh,
Here I'm about to write a new message, but whoever receives it will receive it from me at Pipeline.
oh, I see. Okay.
But if I want to send something from Yahoo, I'll say new message, and whoever receives it will see that it came from me at Yahoo, from my junk
Oh.
mail,
Okay.
or from me at my personal, from me as a teacher. So I am not allowed ever to write to you guys from my personal email, which some of you guys who've been students for eons, yes, you used to get stuff from a personal email that, now for the last 4 or 5 years already, but some of you guys have been students of mine from before that, have my personal email. But if you write to me there, anything about school, that could get you and me into big trouble. So for school stuff, if you write to me about personal stuff, that's great. And a few of you guys I have a personal relationship with. But with school stuff, even if I write you to your personals, and this is an exception made only because, and there's every time us, we teachers have to keep fighting the powers that be, because everyone, there's all these rules about privacy and stuff, and they don't want us to write to personal emails. But when you write to us back, everything you get from me is always going to be from my pipeline email account. You don't get anything from a personal account unless we're talking of a completely, not personal issue like I'm sick, but personal like, you know me, we're friends, we go to each other's parties, that level personal, then that can go with a personal email. But if you're talking to me about anything as a student and me as a teacher, I can only send you from pipeline. So it's important for me to know not to ever send you something when I'm in my iCloud account. I have to always send you something when I'm in my pipeline account. Does that make sense? Even if you respond from your personal account, I will always be writing to you from my pipeline account. So what's up is that if you made a mistake and you say that I had to write a pipeline email and I clicked when I was in Yahoo, well, that's okay. I can click in here and switch and change it. So here you can still change to whichever account you want to write from. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's the only way isn't to have it from here, from here, from here. It's okay. Say that you were in your inbox. Say that you're always in your inbox and you're getting everything at the same time, right? So if I'm in my inbox and I happen to have been reading my Walking Co email, when I go say write new message, it's going to come from whatever account I'm clicking on. So right now, this account is something I receive into my Yahoo bad email. This one is coming into my iCloud. This one is coming into my Yahoo email. This one is coming into my pipeline. See, here it tells me where it's coming from. So if I'm clicking in here and I write new message, it's going to automatically try to write back from my Yahoo because that's what I was clicking on. If I'm clicking on a pipeline email and I say new message, it's going to try automatically to go to new pipeline. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
It's
but I have a
trying to help you. This is from my junk mail. And so when I click on new message, it will send again from my junk mail. So whatever you're selecting, it's going to go from there. Okay. But as I said before, you don't need to live in that. You can still switch that to whatever you want to send from. Okay, so everyone's switched to pipeline. Barbara has her hand up.
In this mail,
Yeah.
I get a lot of junk and I just get so much junk in my Cox account. And they won't, any longer, they will not let you have a second account. I at one time had 3 accounts.
Mhm.
So all the junk I'm getting from my Cox account, if I set it up in this mail, I'll get all that junk until I get them blocked. Is that correct?
No, you weren't here last class and I spoke a lot about that.
Okay, I'll be sure and
So
watch that.
last Monday's recording. We spent a lot of time on junk mail. So there's all these different
Okay.
things to say, but the quickest thing I'm gonna say to anyone who's getting a lot of junk, Yolanda mentioned getting junk, you mentioned, it's very easy. The first time I had an email, I didn't know how to use it carefully and I ended up getting a lot of junk. And this Yahoo email that I'm telling you is my junk mail, it used to be my real email that I gave to real people, but then it got full of junk. There's a time and place where you just can't clean it up anymore. It's just, your
Right.
email is out there in the world. Your email is on bazillions of lists, is being sold everywhere. It's not about normal, say you sign up for Michael's, right? I have no idea. Michael's has all these rules and they might be selling emails to other people who,
Correct.
are interested. And then you're on another list and another list and another list. So you get to a point where it's uncleanable because then you get stuff from anything and everything, things, because it's one thing to get things from people you're interested, you just don't want to see it. That's bothersome email. But junk email where you're getting just like bizarre, like, whoa, what is this doing in my junk box? And you get tons of those a day, it becomes really hard to handle. I highly recommend creating yourself a new email, especially if it's a Cox email. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Now, for anyone who has an email that their primary email is full of junk to the point that you're getting 20, 50 emails a day of just absolute junk, it makes it hard to find amongst all of that, the good stuff. Although you
Right.
can use the VIPs, you can do the smart mailboxes and stuff like that. But there's a point where you really need to just stop getting all that junk. At which point, create yourself a new email. This one you will protect and you will give only to the people that you really do love and care about hearing about. But it'll take some time because
Right. You talked about that last week.
Yeah.
So,
but how to handle junk and all of that, go to last week's recording where we spent a lot of time with that. Okay.
Right.
And then next
Thank you.
class, ask me if there's something that's unclear. Then next Monday, after having watched that recording, ask me again. Okay. You're welcome. Sarah?
Yeah, my email, you have a heading at the top of your mail that says mailboxes, inbox, VIPs, and it gives a number. I don't have that heading. And also when I click on an email, I don't have the new message or the get mail.
So this is what she's talking about, this list here. I'll show you that in a second. And then these two are missing too, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, actually, I think the new message is over way to the right. On
Yeah.
the other icon.
That's because you have Monterey or Big Sur.
Big Sur,
So
yeah.
it's over here to the right, but it's the same little icon, but it's over here a little bit.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's fine. But this one isn't there. So look what's happened. When I don't see my mailboxes, so I'm going to stop seeing my mailboxes. That's what it means. This is the default setting for mail. When you first open it up and you buy, like before you took this class and you opened up your emails, it comes like this. And you're supposed to handle it from here, where I can click here and I can see from inbox. This is my iCloud inbox. This is my pipeline inbox. And you just kind of, now I'm seeing only my pipeline. And I go here and I see only my Yahoo. And then go here, I see only my cloud. And I go here and I see all, or here are my VIPs, here are my sent and my drafts. See, this is exactly the same thing we were seeing. I find it easier to see mailboxes and to handle it from here, because you see a lot more. You see all the other mailbox, like you get much more in there. But the very minimum organization, and especially if you have a small screen, and if you don't have a lot of personal mailboxes and stuff, then you can just handle them from here. So this is just this little set right there. It just shows you inbox, VIPs, sent, drafts, and flags, just a couple of these. And for a lot of people, that's enough, and you don't want to need to handle all of that. Now, since I told you to see this, then you get to do it here. So really that's inconsequential if you don't have it, right? So, yeah. But did that answer your question, or is there something else that you need to share your screen for me to see?
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you.
That answered it? Okay. All right. So, back to pipeline. All right. So, let's get that new message going. Okay. And then over here, by default, it says to CC and subject. Does everyone have those three? Some of you already have some more, because I will teach you to put one more in there. But at the very least, you all have those three. I saw a lot of yeses, right? Now, 2 would be if I want to send something to someone, that's fine. CC, everyone knows it as when you want to send things to more people, carbon copy. Unfortunately, this is where a lot of our spam comes from using the CC. I'll tell you about that in a second, because there's another choice that doesn't pop up automatically that I want you guys to turn on, which is the BCC, which is the blind copy. So you need to turn that one on by going up here to this little icon right there and adding the BCC address field. Now, if you already had it and you go there, then you're turning it off. You want to leave it on. So you're adding the BCC field. Now, this added not just for this one, but by adding it now, anytime I write something, now it's on. It stays on. Does that make sense? You're done. Once you turn it on, you never need to turn it on anymore. So some of you have taken this class already, had it, and you're like, oh, why is it there? Because you've already turned it on because I've told you in the past. For anyone who's new to any of these math classes, you probably did not have it turned on. So now it's on. Now, is the difference here? If I want to send something to one person, I want everyone to write an email now to me. Okay, so you start writing it by going into my pipeline account. Okay, so D, notice that I wrote D, and I immediately get lots of D people. D people the D people that show up are D people whom I'm writing to mainly, and immediately there's Doran. There's Debbie, people from my classes. Why? Because I've been writing to them. So when you write D, you should get quite a few. You write DE, anyone for who's like DE, and there I start showing up DEM. So slowly it should be closing up DEMU. You should get to the point where the only DEMUS, that basically you should at this point have filtered out everyone else, because how many other people's emails start with DEMUS? You know what I mean? Did that work for you? Every time you write one more thing, it slowly begins to pare it down until you finally get the one that you're looking for. Did everyone find me? I'm seeing lots of nodding. Just tell me if you did not find me. Now, why do you have me there? Well, because I've been emailing you, right? So then you can just click on that, and what ends up turning is you see my name. You have me there because I've been emailing you. Had I never emailed you, you wouldn't have my name up here. On the other hand, had I never emailed you, but had you put me in your contact list, say I meet you on the street and Vera's go, oh, hi, here's my email. And I write it down on my phone. She's never emailed me. I go home and I try to write to Vera. If she's in my contacts list, that would also happen. Vera's email would pop up. But if she's emailed me already, then it would pop up immediately. Okay, so those are the two ways things pop up, either if in their contact list or if you and that person have already emailed each other. But say I meet a new person that I've never emailed and that I've not known, and she's never emailed me, and I try to write it in there, I'll have to type the entire email in one by one, which is the worst way to enter emails because, you can make a lot of mistakes entering an email. Okay. So does it say to Diana Musacchio for everyone now?
Yes.
All right. Now, if you write this email to me right now, please don't send anyone anything yet. We're just showing you different things. Then when I receive it, I will know that it came from you. Okay. And this is important. If you write from this to Diana Musacchio, when I get that email, it'll be an email that I received. For example, Charles just wrote to me and I can tell that Charles wrote to me and he said, hi, Diana. And he wrote it to, and if I check, to my pipeline account. So I can see even which account he wrote to of all my accounts. He wrote to my Diana Musacchio. Okay. And I can see where it came from, and it came from his pipeline account. Okay. See how I'm able to check? So go to some email that you've received and see how you can check that. You can see who wrote and what email they wrote to, just by clicking on those little arrows next to that. All right, so over here, there's a difference. If I want to write to a couple different people, but right now, what I want you guys to do is to say, I haven't shown you how to do the contacts yet, but everyone take a little piece of paper and pencil, because I'm gonna ask everyone who's in class right now to take a specific note. This is the part that's a bit easier to handle at school. But everyone here is gonna write an email to each other. Okay, and this email is going to be mutual. So based on what I see in front of me, okay, and I need to make sure everyone has all their names out. Yeah, everyone's names are out. Okay, so Barbara Wall, I'm going top to right to left, top to bottom of what I'm seeing the group. Barbara Walsh and Julie Moore, you two are a couple, a team. You're going to write to each other, to your pipeline emails. Just write down the person's name. I'll tell you now how to find their pipeline emails. Right now, just write Barbara Walsh, Julie Moore. Now, the next two are going to be, I'm going to rename, by the way, Yolanda, I'm going to put your last name. There we go. So now Sarah Patchen and Jeannie Clymer. Sarah Patchen, Sarah and Jeannie, you guys are a couple, a team. Okay. Yolanda and Vera Dietrich. Yolanda Aumentado and Vera Dietrich. You guys write each other's name, okay? So you all need to write only the name that I'm pairing you with. So Vera writes down Yolanda, Yolanda writes down Vera. Okay, Debbie Ferris, and ooh, I'm gonna change yours, your name. I'm gonna change your name to
Deborah.
Wyman Bradbury. So this is Bill here, but he goes by Bill, but that's the name you'll find him under, because you're all going to find your names under the school list. Okay. Although, Bill, which one is your working computer that you want to be working with? This one or the other one that's dark?
The Wyman Bradbury is the one that's.
Okay, good. All right,
they're both
Anne,
on.
perfect. Okay, Anne, are you there? Anne, you
Yes.
and Doran are going to write, but I'm going to change Doran's name and write his last name, because you guys need to know the person's last name. So Doran Lascu. Okay, so right now I'm writing Doran Lascu. So I've changed your name. Charles Matas. How do you pronounce it? Matas? How do you say it in English, Charles? Because I say Matas because I'm Spanish, but Mattis. Okay. So Charles Mattis is going to be partnering with Paul Durantini.
Okay.
Okay. Charles and Paul. And then Marcia, since I don't see anyone else, it'll be you and I. Okay.
Yep.
Marcia and Diana Musacchio.
Yep.
Diana,
All right.
I missed who I was going to write to.
Yeah. To Debbie Ferris.
Thank you.
Debbie
actually-
Ferris.
It'll be Deborah.
It'll be her, it'll be under Deborah, yeah, but that's okay. The important thing is a last name. I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. All right. So everyone's clear who? Now let me show you a trick. Okay. So now want you all to CC. You're going to CC the person that I just told you. And you're like, well, how? I don't have their addresses. Well, guess what? We're all part of Pipeline. We're all part of the school. Your school contacts are available to you. So if you want to write to a teacher, as long as you know their last name and the beginning of their first name, usually you can find them. Why? Because you just start writing their last name, right? So like anyone who's writing to Julie Moore, start typing Moore, and you should start seeing, I have so many different, it's kind of, oh, did you guys turn on your pipe? It's as important. In your system preferences pipeline, you need to have your contacts turned on. This is important because that's what connects you to the pipeline. And remember that I had told you to turn this on before? Just want to make sure that you have that turned on. If so, if you go in here and start writing their last name, I have you all because I write to you, right? So if I start writing Durantini, there it shows up, right? But for you guys, you have to start writing it and then it'll start showing up. The reason I don't want to show this too much is because I have all your emails here. So is it working for you guys? Are you beginning to see their
Barbara,
pipeline?
I'm doing Barbara Walsh, and she has BA Walsh 2, and then she has
Okay.
BE Walsh.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Maybe there's other students or teachers or faculty or staff at school whose last name is Walsh, starting with B. So then you need to kind of check in each other. Which one are you? Are you the one that's, you know, BE or B2? So kind of check with each other a little bit. You can also write in the chat, you can ask, is this you? So before you send it, ask your people. And if it's not working and you're not finding it, let me know. So I'm
Diane,
gonna
I'm
write
the
to
number 2.
Pruden. Okay, so I'm writing to Marcia Pruden, and Marcia, you're gonna write to me twice, I guess, in the
So
top.
Diana, we send an email to you and copy of the person that.
Yeah,
we
right
applied to?
now, don't
Okay.
send it to anyone.
Okay,
Right now, just do these two and keep waiting for a second. Okay, just put the person next to you's email in the CC. So to me and then CC to your neighbor.
okay.
I already said I did it wrong, but I'll do it again.
Okay, so Julie, Barbara just told you which, you send a direct message to me.
I know,
So
but I don't
Barbara's
have-
not seeing, you can't, exactly. So you just need to ask. And Barbara just told you, she said something out loud. What was it? It's B2. Go ahead and tell her again.
BA Walsh 2 is my email address. I don't know who the other one is.
Some of
Okay.
you have names like, you know, Mary Smith, you're gonna find a ton. I can't explain to you how hard it is in my credit class where I have to grade people and I'll have like 3 different Jorge Garcias, for example. It's like, oh my God, which one of the 3 Jorge Garcias am I grading right now? In my same class, forget it on the list. Like if I tried to write, if I were to write right now, Garcia, look at how many Garcias show up. Look at that, Garcia, just the same last name. That's why, by the way, if you ever wonder how come a lot of Hispanics have double names, this is Garcia Camisca, Garcia Mendoza, Garcia Serrano, Garcia Moreno. That's something we do a lot because then that distinguishes, you know, Garcia Murillo from Garcia Osman from Garcia, you know, we have, that's the double names thing. There's a reason to that. Anyway, never mind. Okay, did everyone find their partner?
No, I don't find Debbie Ferris.
Okay, she's Deborah and Ferris. Do you wanna just spell it out then? How the
No.
thing?
How do you
Oh,
turn on
good.
your contacts again?
What?
How do you turn on the contacts?
You go to internet accounts
Uh-huh.
in your system preferences, and you go to internet accounts. Click on pipeline and make sure to have all of these turned on.
Okay.
Okay, and Ferris is DA Ferris. DA Ferris.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
how's,
I have them all, so if you need them, I can tell you. What else?
tell me bills.
Bills, Bradbury, he's easy. W Bradbury.
Okay.
W Bradbury.
How do you spell my contact? It was Jean Clymer, but I can't find it.
Okay, Clymer, it's G Clymer, so GCLYMER.
Oh, CLY, okay.
And you can see her right there next, you know,
Okay.
like, look, her name is Wellspring. Okay, so Doran, yes, Doran and Ann are together. Ann, are you there? It's just that sometimes people need to step out and I'm not sure if Ann hasn't responded. Ann, if you're there, because Doran has. to do this
Yes,
with you.
I've got
Yes,
it.
you are. Okay, good. So Doran has a partner. Yeah, someone was asking if Doran had a partner. Okay. So
Oh.
looks like everyone is live or not. You don't need to send it yet. just write it in there and keep waiting, because I'm gonna have you do something else. Okay,
No,
so
no.
Dorian, your partner is Ann Wunsch. Ann Wunsch, Wunsch. All right, so Bill, you're saying no as
Oh,
in,
sorry, I've been spelling it Ferris.
oh, it's
That's not so good. I'm back. I'm back.
Like
I'll
that,
try
D.A.
again.
Faris. All right. Now, as you can see, as long as you're in this, as long as you're a student at City College or a teacher or a staff member at City College, as long as you know the first and last name, you should be able to find a way to email them professionally at their Pipeline account, because we're all on that list. Got it? You guys haven't emailed each other in the past, and yet you typed in here and you found them. Why? Because you're connected to the contact for the Pipeline. Okay.
I don't know.
All right. So now, those of you who've already sent some, go ahead and open a new one up and do this again. Okay. So I see Yolanda and Vera have been writing to each other. Open a new one and write again to Diana. CC to your neighbor, the one I just told you about. Okay. And then now go into the BCC. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be switching some things around, and I want you guys to get this right. So if you don't have this right, you just have to ask me. Okay. I'm going to show you how you can change this. I want to actually write directly to my partner, not to CC my partner. So I can grab her name and just drag it up here under the 2. See how easy it is? And then I'm going to grab me, my name, you guys, my name, and you are going to BCC me. So I'm just trying to show you how easy it is to move things around, but also because I truly want this to be the order. I want you guys to BCC me. And I want you guys to send something directly to the person that's your partner. Does that make sense? Tell me if you're having any issues with that.
Diane, I don't know how to do this. I gotta go back and watch. So she's not gonna get an email from me.
What do you mean go back and watch? Just,
I-
this is something we're doing now. There's nothing I taught
Well,
before.
I don't know how to put. I went to system preferences and internet accounts. I don't know how to put my Pipeline account in it.
Oh, you missed that one too. I missed both of the classes. Well, then it's okay. Do this anyway.
I just missed
That's okay.
Mondays.
It's okay. Really more. I'm trying to. Can you write? Oh, I gotta give you guys a break. Julie, can you go in the chat and put your Pipeline email there for Barbara?
Yeah, it's just jmore9 at
Okay,
Pipeline.
I'll write it. jmore9@pipeline.
.sbcc.edu.
.sbcc.edu. Okay, so there we go. I just wrote it in the chat. jmore9@pipeline. So grab that email and add it to her there. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah, because otherwise Julie can't participate in the exercise either. So I want everyone to have. Okay, so everyone has this set up where you're BCCing me. All right, so let's finish this and then we'll take a break, okay?
Yep.
So now let's go to the subject.
But I don't know how to put my Pipeline account in my mailboxes.
Oh, to send from, you can't. So you're gonna have, you're gonna have to send from your, oh, shoot. Okay, then hang out for this one. I'll send
I'm sorry.
this one to Julie. No, that's okay. How about I do this? Julie and Marcia, since you guys didn't have since I was partnering with Marcia, Julie, you write to Marcia Pruden, and Marcia, Can you write to Julie?
Yep.
Okay, so
And-
Marcia and Julie, got it, Marcia?
Yes, yes, yes.
So over here, instead of me, that way you don't have to say BCC, me and you, just say to Julie Moore, and Barbara, just kind of hang for a minute. Okay, got it. Now, we're gonna go to subject and we're going to write learning BCC, because I want you guys to learn the whole point of BCC for this one. Okay,
I don't see Marcia. Now I did it before, so.
okay, so it's ML Pruden. It's double D. So it's ML Pruden at
Okay.
pipeline.sbcc.edu. There we go. I wrote it in the chat.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. And then in here, just go hi, and then write the first name of the person you're writing to. So in this case, I will still be writing to Marcia because I was, so she'll get something from you and from me. Hi, Marcia.
Hi.
And then nice day or whatever you want to write, and then sign. It doesn't matter. It's a mini email, but just write the first name to the person you're supposedly sending this to. Okay.
Then do you want us to send it now?
Now that you have it at that point, let's send it, and then I'll explain what happened, what the BCC is happening. So now everyone go ahead and say send. And how do you say send? You go to this little airplane right here and you click on the airplane. Okay.
My email takes a long time to get to me sometimes when people send me stuff. So I may not get it, Julie. I'm sorry.
Well, let's see. Go ahead and let's send it for now.
you said it's ML Prudent?
ML Pruden.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, I don't know if you're looking at my email, but my email is burning because I'm getting, you all should be getting one email,
Oh,
right? In your inbox, but I'm getting one from every one of you guys. See that? I'm getting,
Your message.
what's the
message
question?
saying address now.
Hold on.
At pipeline.s.
You're very
Ah.
broken up, Julie, so
Wow.
I'm not sure what's happening. You're very broken up.
Okay, let me go to a different room.
No, wait, now, the thing that you just said now came in perfectly well. All right, so
Okay.
guys, listen now, because I want to show you this and then we're going to take our break. So everyone, you can go and click on the one that you just received. And you can see from the one that you received, right? The first one you receive, we'll see who it came from. And so here at the very beginning, look, you guys, I'm showing you now, look at me for a second, my screen. The very beginning, I go from Yolanda. Before I talked about the BCC, she had sent one early. And so I'm using this as a good example. First, I got one from Charles. He just sent it to me. See how it says he sent it to Diana? I can see who he sent it to. Then I got one from Yolanda. And I can see that she CC'd Vera. Can you guys see that? I can see that Vera got the same message. And I'm like, oh, Yolanda wrote to me and to Vera, like me, third person. I know that Yolanda wrote to Vera because she CC'd me. Yeah. For better or for worse, as long as all three of us are friends, or if we're in the same like book group, or we've given, permission to be in each other's information, this is good. But what if Vera and I have no contact, no connection, and Yolanda had CC'd me? Then suddenly I have, if this were personal emails, now I would have the personal email, because now I can write to Vera, even though I might not know this person. Now I can write to them. And on top of that, I can get her email and I can write to a bunch of people and now put them on a mailing list, sell their emails, and you start getting spam. So the best way to prevent, many times you can do everything you can do in your life to prevent getting spam, and someone else will do this. They'll put you in a CC that starts going around. You know, those emails that float that everyone gets hundreds of CCs and your name is there?
Yep.
I can now find out Vera's email because I was CC'd Vera's email. Of course, we're doing this where I already know her email, but that's not the point. If
Right.
this were someone I shouldn't know, now I know it, right? Versus, I'm going to go to one that was done correctly, like the ones where you BCC'd. Did you guys leave me in the 2? This is from me. So
Paul, did you get mine?
let's
I
get. let's
did.
get-
I did,
okay,
Charles, yes.
Let's get, yeah, did everyone get their one email from the person?
No,
Yes, I did.
Julie, you said that you didn't get anything from Marcia yet?
no, and it said my email to her failed.
Yeah.
Well, I
have
am seeing
trouble.
one here. Oh, because you wrote to Prudent, not Prudent. So go in
No.
the chat. Yeah,
No, I have
Ju-
ML Prudent at,
exactly, exactly. So listen, Juliet, you wrote Prudent and her email is Pruden, DDEN. Go look in the chat. I gave her your email, ML Pruden with no T at the end and double D. See how I can tell? Because I got it, but she sent it to ML Prudent and her email is double D and no T in the back.
oh, Prudent. Oh,
Prudent,
okay,
okay?
okay.
So, but see how I can tell who she wrote to, you guys? So here's what's happening. You all BCC'd me.
Right,
So I'm going to start with the example of Jeannie here. I know, right,
mm-hmm,
that Jeannie sent something to Sarah Patchen. Okay, now Sarah, if you go to that same email, can you tell that she wrote to me?
No.
No. All of you go to your emails and that you received, and can you tell that it was also sent to me?
No.
No. I remain hidden. It's a blind carbon copy. So you guys know that each other guys, you received something directly from the other person, but you have no idea that I also got a copy.
Prudent,
There's no way for you guys in the emails you received to know that I got a copy, right?
right, right.
And yet, as you can see, I got a copy from everyone. I got you guys. Why? Because you BCC'd me, you blind copied me. So for better or for worse,
Diana,
you cannot now contact me because you didn't get, let me finish this whole process of thought. 1 second, Yolanda. So if Jeannie wanted to invite 10 people to a party at her house, but these people don't all know each other, the prudent thing would be to put all those people's emails in the BCC. So like when I email you guys, the email the morning, this is a Zoom link, I put all of your emails in the BCC so that none of you guys learn each other's emails because I have your personal emails, not only your school emails. And so I put you all in the BCC. Does that make sense? So you guys know that I got it, but that little undisclosed recipients that you get, that's because I don't show you everyone else's emails.
Oh, Lord, I still can't type right.
Does that make sense? The
Yeah.
BCC is a safe place to protect the emails that everyone else get. On the other hand, the people who get BCC'd me,
D-
I do know. Okay, like I do know that you guys got the
Oh,
emails
Lord.
because I got BCC'd.
Yeah, I'll try it again because I typed her name wrong again.
Okay, you can just copy, go to, I put it in the chat,
I know you did, and I put,
but you can click on that and copy that and then paste it in. Click on the chat, the 3 little dots
I
right
did
next to the name
copy.
and
yeah.
do a little copy and then go and write something in the 2 and then say paste and it's gonna come in.
Hmm.
And that's the correct one. All right, so go ahead and leave things where they are. Julie might keep trying and let's take our break because we're way past our break time. I'm gonna stop my share, and a lot of you guys are probably raring to go. What time is it? 10:45. So let's have break until 11 a.m. Okay. See you guys in 15 minutes.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
All right.
And can I ask a question quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, in the BCC, you put a name in there, then you put a comma and a space and then another name, and it'll go to those two people and
Yeah.
nobody will see it, right? Correct?
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Take
Yeah.
a break. Thanks.
No, good question. Yeah, no.
Marcia, did you get it now?
Julie, yes, I did get it. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Julie?
Yes, I just had turned off my video and the audio. Yes.
Okay, good job. I'll email you back now with
Okay,
a,
sorry, I kept misspelling your name.
oh, everybody does. It's not,
Well,
no,
I added 2 N's one time and 1 D, so.
yeah. So I'm gonna now BCC Deanna.
Okay,
I think that's what she wanted. There you go. And
this is the greatest class. I really hope she does it online.
I know, me too. I think this is like the 4th or 5th time I've taken it.
Yeah, I took it this summer and I thought I need, I don't have an iPhone, I have an Android, but
Yeah.
I really feel a little more confident with the computer. Also, I'm learning a few things from my Android, so it's
Yeah.
a win-win all the way around.
Mhm. Sure.
Are you going to sign up in January then if it's in person?
I don't know yet. We're remodeling our kitchen. I may not be able to physically get there,
Yeah.
December
right.
7th, you sign up. You sign up December 7th.
Thank you. I'm going to take a break. Thanks so much.
Yeah, okay.
Julie, are you going to take any other classes with her?
Say that again, Charles?
Are you going to take any other classes with her?
No, I don't do Photoshop or anything like that. My
Oh.
husband does photography, so that's his bailiwick. He's taught Lightroom and Photoshop.
Oh,
But no, are you taking others?
probably Photoshop,
Uh-huh.
Photoshop and InDesign.
Yeah. Are you in the camera club here in town?
I'm Galita.
Right, but there's a Channel Cities Camera Club.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know about that because I'm not really a camera buff. I like Photoshop or other things, graphic design and stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's a camera club's been around for a long time. And right now, of course, like everybody else, they're on Zoom.
Yeah. Imagine.
They have 3 meetings a month.
Yeah.
So some great photographers in there. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, Mike Eliason gave the talk. And of course, his photographs are fabulous.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, does your husband use does he use phones? Would he use those fancy phones they have now for photography or?
He has done a little bit. We have Androids, not
Yeah.
iPhones,
Oh,
but we've done a lot of traveling with National Geographic, and they talked a lot about using, cell phones for photographs, and they're pretty amazing.
Yeah. Pretty expensive too. Who would think of spending over $1,000 for a phone?
Yeah. Well, we have Androids and people were taking them with Androids. You don't have to have an
But
iPhone.
they're over $1,000 too, some of the Android ones, the Samsung.
Yeah, what did Dan have before? Oh, I forget what he had before, but I know we didn't pay $1,000 for it.
Yeah, but that's what they want for some of them now.
Wow. Yeah, no, it was like maybe 200 at the
Well,
most.
these are 10 times more than that now. Very, very expensive.
Yeah, yeah. People will go back to film if they can.
Yeah, I know. But even cameras, they're very expensive too. The camera,
Yeah.
you have to buy the camera body, then you buy lenses. So you're talking a lot of money there too.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really tough without Sammy's in town.
The lenses cost more than the cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I just got a camera for $20 that Nikon won't service any longer.
Oh, boy.
Because it has more megapixels and it'll fit my other two Nikons. The lenses are all interchangeable, but my
Hmm.
lenses are more money than
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
the cameras, you know,
Telephoto
because
lenses.
I don't need to do time lapse and, you know, a bunch of other things. I have a camera I'm going to set up for time lapse, but I can't afford the lenses.
Can you develop yourself or you send it out?
Oh, they're digital.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There are digital now. Yeah, I forgot
And
that.
I have a new 27-inch iMac that I wanted for years. So
Is that a new one or is that?
the iMac,
Yeah.
I had to wait, it was over a month, like a month and a half, I had to wait
Yeah.
for it.
Wow. Because they have them, the Costco is better. Costco has them in stock and you get them right there. If you want to go to like the Apple store, so they don't have them in stock, you wait 2, 3, 4 weeks for it.
Well, I wanted more than what Costco had.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's true
I've-
too. Yeah.
I have the largest desktop, that 27-inch, and
Wow.
then I had more RAM to it and faster everything, because I've waited a long time. I sold some furniture to help
great.
pay half of it.
Wow.
I'm still paying on it. It was quite expensive.
And they keep changing them. You know, now they're coming out with the iMac and the MacBook Air with the M2 chip. And it's not even over a
Right.
year that they
But
came out with another one. Yeah.
They're too small. They're too small to develop photographs.
Yeah.
You know, I like to have a nice big screen. I have a mini Mac that was given to me that I have hooked up to an LG television
Uh-huh.
that I was using, but I couldn't upgrade to a new Adobe
Oh.
Lightroom. I couldn't upgrade that. So I broke down and bought a new computer, but I'll put after I have the film, you know, developed and stuff, I can put it, plug a flash drive
Yeah.
into the mini Mac and look at it on a large screen
True.
to see what it'll look like on a large screen if I want to blow something up.
Yeah.
And do I really want something that big on my wall? You know?
True. Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
I mean, I don't drive, I take the bus. Can you imagine me carrying one of those big TVs on the bus with me? God.
Well, you know, I have a MacBook Pro laptop,
Yeah.
and it was just so tiny that I just wasn't happy with using Photoshop and Lightroom on it. I take it with me when I travel, you know, with my camera, so I can see, you know, I can zoom in and I can move the photograph around to see if I got a good shot, see if I got everything in it I wanted. If I don't, then I can take another photograph rather than, you know, once you get back home again. And because I can look at the color graph, you know, that on the back of the camera, but the camera's so tiny, you know, the little lenses, the screen on the back of the cameras that I
Oh, they
really
are, yeah.
can't tell if I got a really good shot or not.
Yeah.
Mhm. Hey, Barbara, this is Paul.
Yeah, hi, Paul.
Hey, how are you?
I'm recovering from yesterday. I was in Ventura shopping for washer and dryer and dishwasher.
Oh, that's a nightmare. Hey,
Oh,
I have
it
a
is.
question. You
I-
mentioned that you had a Mac Mini. Do you like it? And what do you have it hooked up to now?
Oh, it's an older Mac Mini. They have a new one now. And the reason I bought the iMac was I couldn't upgrade to the new Lightroom, Adobe's Lightroom. But I love that little Mac Mini. That's how I went, because I take photography.
Right.
That's how I ended up being an Apple person. It was given to me because I've been a PC. I used to build my own PCs,
Mhm.
and I'm so new to Apple. And it's very easy if you weren't a PC person, but I
Right.
think it's confusing if you were a PC person.
Yeah, right,
You're absolutely right on that.
right. So why wouldn't using the Mac Mini, you couldn't use Photoshop? You couldn't upgrade to the new Photoshop?
I couldn't have, it was because it's an old Mac Mini
Oh, I
that
see.
was given to
Okay.
me.
I
Now, the
got you.
new Mac Minis, yeah, there's the new one out. I'm sure that you can
Right,
upgrade
right.
for a long time, but it's
Right.
an old one.
Oh, okay,
Chris
okay,
had it
yeah.
for years.
I have a MacBook Pro as well, an old MacBook Pro, and I think next year I'm gonna buy a Mac Mini and then you get a big screen for it. And
Make sure if you're gonna get a big screen and you're gonna go TV, make sure you get a really good TV. The screen's really good.
high resolution.
Yes,
screen.
I wanted a Sony for years and years and years, and I never did buy one. My LG now I've had for at least 3 years, and I got a deal on it, and I'm real happy with it.
Mhm.
But I go to my iMac to develop my pictures.
I see, right.
And
You should get Paul the iMac instead of the Mac Mini, because the iMac has a big screen too. Like Barbara
it's
does.
got a beautiful screen, and I have a 27-inch one.
Yeah, the iMac is bigger, but it's also more expensive than a Mac Mini.
Oh
Oh yeah,
yeah.
but then you have to add the stuff onto it. You have to get a TV.
But
for
if
it.
you have a TV and you have your keyboard, I've got several keyboards, and I've got several mice because I use a mouse with my MacBook Pro. I'm just a PC transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
Paul, what you see, what happens is, you go to Costco and you see the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini only has 8 gigabytes, 256. You want to go up to 16 gigabytes, that's going to cost you about $200 more. You want to go up to a larger hard drive, that's going to cost you at least $200, $300, $400 more. So when you get through with it, it's going to be a lot of money too.
Well, right now I have
Yeah,
3
that's true.
external
That's
hard
right.
drives
Yeah.
plugged into my iMac. And when I travel with my camera and lenses, I take my MacBook Pro, I take one of my external hard drives, my camera with all my lenses, and so I'll take a photograph, I'll put it on my laptop, the MacBook Pro, and I move when I put the card in the card reader, I don't even transfer them to the MacBook Pro. I transfer them to an external hard drive right next to it. I'll sit down at a desk or a coffee table and do all that and check my photographs.
I just got a new MacBook Pro on the 14-inch one. And yeah, the screen, I love the screen because it has the better screen on it. But again, you say it is smaller, but it's more compact. You can bring it with you.
Right, but you can zoom in, and scoot around the photograph and make sure everything came in clear.
Yeah.
But to the overall photograph,
So
I'm neat. I want to get a colorimeter.
colorimeter.
Yes. I not going up to City College, you know, you can check them out from up there. And because I want to check all my screens, I want them to all be balanced.
All right. Hello.
Hello,
How are you?
we're good.
So
Hungry.
I was not by the computer this time during break, but I heard a lively chat going on that I could just hear like from the far. So is there any question that I need to intervene, or was it all just like chit chat personal stuff, or?
It was photographs.
Yeah,
Oh,
and we were talking about computers in general, hardware.
oh, good. All right.
Is it better to
So,
get- is it better to get the Mac Mini or the iMac?
oh,
But the
Yeah.
Mac Mini, you get it at Costco and it only has 8 gigabytes and 256. Then, as I said, you start bringing it up, it costs you a lot more. And if you have MacBook Air and you with the 850, 256, $799 at
Mhm.
Costco. But if you want to bring it up, it's like $1,300.
Mhm.
And with that, it's better to get the Pro.
You can
Mhm.
always plug in as long as computers you can plug into your external hard drives, which saves you.
Yeah, so I don't know the entire conversation you guys had, but just the quick difference would be some people will never take their computer out of their homes, in which case a Mac Mini is a great thing. You just plug it into a monitor and a keyboard and it works. But they work really well. But the one that's sold at Costco right now has 8 gigabytes, just like the MacBook Air. So the only difference between one or the other would be that you can move the Air is going to be more expensive because it has the added possibility of moving it around, right? Versus a Mac Mini has to stay in your home. It's a desktop computer.
Right, right.
But it's cheaper and it's, I believe, in fact, more powerful.
The
Not
Mac,
sure
the Mac
about that.
Mini is more, that you're saying the Mac Mini is more powerful?
I don't know right now the comparison of the ones that Costco's selling, which one is more powerful than the other, but for the same power, the Mac Mini is cheaper because they don't have to provide you the monitor, they don't have to provide you keyboard, they don't have to provide you a housing that's durable and all that. It's just a little box. It's just that important stuff. You know what I mean? So if
Mhm.
you're not going to move your computer, if you don't need a laptop, a Mac Mini is for the same power is always going to be cheaper than a laptop, right?
Mhm.
But you can buy Mac Minis that from the Apple store with a student education discount. Use your Pipeline account and you get the student education discount that have more gigabytes of RAM if you want something that's going to last you longer. Just some people like to move around the house, even if they don't leave the house. They want to move around the house with their laptop. They want to go to the couch or to the bed or to the desk. So then you need a laptop. But if you're fine keeping it in one spot, then a Mac Mini is a great solution for a Mac computer that's actually much cheaper, quite a bit cheaper in comparison. The
$100
same
cheaper.
to same,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah,
Mine
yeah.
was $100 cheaper at the Apple store than I got it at Costco.
Mhm. Yeah, the Apple store, if you give them the student discount, depending on the product, depending on the thing, sometimes is cheaper than Costco and sometimes not.
I would
I
return and
got
get
a
it there, but
MacBook
they
Pro.
don't have them anymore. They have to wait 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it also depends on where where they have them and who they come. Yeah, who still has some, who still doesn't. You know.
You can buy any new laptop if you can find it online at Apple, a refurbished one.
Yeah.
My MacBook Pro that I bought a few years ago was refurbished. It was brand new. I don't know what was refurbished on it.
Yeah, no. Refurbished. If Apple is selling a refurbished computer, they are as good as new. Yeah, they're as good as new. So that's a good solution. All right, let's keep going. Going to share my screen again. Back to, sharing my entire desktop now. Here we go. All right, so any questions at the last minute? Some of you guys might already be gone on break. Barbara asked if you put more people in the CC, can you do that? I'm like, yeah, when I send you guys an email, I send it to more. So if I go to my sent of Pipeline, and I click on one of these that I send to you guys, you can see here that I have this is everyone who gets this email. Okay, so IBCC this morning, I sent you guys to all of these people. See that? And yet when you get, if you go to this email that you got this morning, if you go to click on it, you'll see that it just says 2 undisclosed recipients. You don't see all the other people that went to. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
All right. That way, none of you can email to each other's personal email addresses. So I'm protecting your identity, so to say. Does that make sense? I have access to all your emails, but you don't, through me, get everyone else's emails with my email address. All right. So that's the whole point of the CC. Let's make one more message before I move on to contacts. And we're going to come back here when we go to contacts, but I just have one more thing I want to say. Now this one you can send this time, send it to me and to, instead of BCC, this time I want you to do a 2 and a CC. And no, but you know what? Let's just do this. Don't say and 2. Don't say 2, because a lot of people don't know you can do this. You don't need to say 2 at all. Let's CC both your neighbor, whoever you had to write, and myself. So I'm going to write again to Marcia and then send it to me. So we're going to CC 2 people. You can CC 2 people. You can BCC 2 people. You can 2 people or 10 people. Ideally, when you do a group of people who don't know each other, who haven't given each other their personal emails, you should not CC them. You should only BCC them. But when it's a group like this closed group right now, you all have you all know how to get each one's emails because you're on, it's a school list. Then it's okay to CC them. Or as I said, if it's a group of 5 of you who meet every once a month, or it's close friends or stuff like that. But as soon as there's people who don't know each other, you should always BCC them. All right. So now in the CC, what we're going to do is we're going to insert a photo and attach a file. So we're going to practice those 2 things, and it's going to be from, make sure that it's from your pipeline account. And here we're going to do those 2 things. So we're going to just send this one knowledgeable, both CCs people, we're going to know that this was sent to both. So if you CC, I will know that I got it, of course, and I will also know that Marcia got it. Okay. So I will know that both of these people got it. So when you send this email out, everyone knows that everyone else got it. So if you put 10 emails here, all 10 people know everyone else who got it. All right. So let's go ahead and how do we attach a file? Hopefully y'all have something you can attach. This is when having my sample files would have been better, because now we're about to send stuff to people. Didn't think of that. If you don't want to attach a file, that's okay. Let me show you how to do it. Maybe you have a screenshot on your desktop or something. Like if you don't, maybe do a little screenshot. Like right now, how to do a screenshot. Go to any part of your desktop and hold down Command-Shift and 4, and then just grab a little bit of something like that. It doesn't matter. And that will be a screenshot on your desktop. And what you can do is you can send this as your attachment. Okay, that way you don't have to send any private file or anything like that. Does that make sense? Just make a quick screenshot of something. And if you don't know how to do what I just did, then just hold down Shift, Command, and then tap the number 3. And that'll do a screenshot of your entire desktop. Okay. And then you can send that. But especially since we have our emails open right now, then people will be receiving at least a little description of your email. So I don't maybe recommend that one right now, because I don't know, that might not make so much more sense. Okay, so don't do that one just because of what we're showing. All right. So there's 2. Yeah.
I attach the screenshot, but I don't know how to attach a file.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to show you right now. So there's a file. So I just wanted people who don't have one to make something right now. All right. So now how do we how do we attach a file or a photo? And it's different where we're going to send our photos from. So a file is this little clip, right? The little paper clip. Okay. So you can click to this paper clip, or you can right click over here and attach. Oh, I guess you can't right click and attach. That's interesting. I guess you can't. You have to go to this paper clip. Okay. So make sure your cursor is here in the material and say, here you can say, here's a file for you, whatever, right? You don't need, and then click on this little attach, click, and then go find it. So for people who are going to send the screenshot they just took, you can go to your desktop because that's where screenshots end up, and click on your screenshot. Now, to the question that Yolanda just had, how do you attach a file? It so happens that this is a photo because it's a screenshot, but this is how you would attach any file. So if I were to go to my documents and attach, you know, how to, you know, a QR code or any kind of file, a fishing example, or I'm about to sneeze. Woo. My nose has been ready to sneeze for a while and it finally sneezed.
Expect something on my behalf.
I'm going to mute you, Marcia, because you're talking. Okay, so anything. I want to go to finance or pottery photo, any file, whatever. What I'm doing right now, this little attach lets me go to anywhere in my entire computer and click on anything. I just downloaded an Avery thing and send it. Okay. So anything that you're about to send, it doesn't matter what kind of file it is, photo, document, Excel, anything can be attached this way. All right. So I'm going to send, I'm going to go ahead and send a file, just because right now it's easier to send a file to notice the difference. So I'm going to choose this. It's a Avery labels template because we're doing some stickers for Jack's Pottery. So here's how a file shows up. If what you chose was a screenshot or a photo, you would see the photo here, but I have attached an actual archive, a file.
And I have to leave for a meeting. See you
Okay.
Monday.
All right, thank you, Charles. Check the email for the rest. And now, what if instead what I want to send is a photo? Not a photo from any photo can be attached this way too. If you have it on your desktop, if you have it, here's a photo, I can send it this way as well, right? So this is just choosing a file that happens to be a photo. So that's fine, it appears over there. But what if instead you want to send a photo from that's in your photos album, like in your photos, those of you who are in my iLife class, in the photos app, something that came from your photos that transferred into your photos app. So if you guys don't have that set up, like if you don't have set up your photos, this won't work for you. But if you do, see over here, there's this little icon that allows me to send a photo, right? So you guys see what I'm talking about? This little icon that shows a little picture.
How did you get to that drop down again, Deanna?
Which drop down?
That allowed you to click on add photo?
I'm showing it right now up here. There's now the first one I did with the attachment. I attached a file that's in your files and folders. But to go to the Photos app, you go to this little icon that shows you a little mini landscape picture, right? And then you click on Photos. And
can anybody else see what she's doing?
No, I cannot find. I cannot find that photo that you were showing to her.
okay, so
I only was
is no one seeing this little icon there? No one's seeing that?
Right, I don't see it.
Are you talking about on your desktop, the screenshot?
Are you seeing everything I'm sharing right now? Or you're not seeing this icon?
I'm seeing it.
I don't see the icon. I do not.
Okay, here's my question, Marcia. Are you not seeing it on your screen? You can't find this, or are you not seeing what I am sharing, which is a different question. You're not seeing what I am sharing, or you don't see it on your computer. You can't find what I am
I
sharing.
don't see what you're sharing. I don't see it on what you're sharing.
Okay. What I am sharing, everyone else can see. So you need to figure out how to see again. I'm sharing my entire screen right now. So go down to maybe your Zoom icon on the dash, on the dock, and maybe you can right click and say show all windows, and then you'll see me. You know, there's a difference in the questions there, because it's one thing
Right.
not to find that yourself, but it's another thing she's not seeing what I'm sharing. That's different. Did you say did you right click on your Zoom icon on the dock and then
Okay,
say
I
show
got it.
all
I
window?
got it.
You've got me.
I got it
Okay.
now. Thank you, Deanna.
You're
Sorry.
welcome. All right. On the other hand, has someone not able to find this little bit there?
I found
That's
it already.
different.
Thank you.
So you go to the little photos word. And here, this is like a little sneak peek into your photos app. Okay. So for those of you who are in my iLife class, this is like a little mini photos app. Who's in my iLife class? If you've favorited some photos, you can go to favorites and then you'll access that. If you have, like, you know, people, if I've taught you people, you can access that. If you have albums, so here I've got some albums and I can access all of my screenshots, or if I have some smart albums I've made, or here's some families. So basically it goes to stuff that you have. So I'm going to go to my panoramas, for example, and here I have a little panoramas. I'm going to choose one of these. Okay, so this is for people who have the photos in the Photos app. Okay, in the actual Photos app. And so now I can go and I'm going to go and check my favorites. I'm going to do it from there. And I'm going to click on this little photo. And that's what I'm going to bring in. Okay, so I'm just going to double click. Yeah, this is the one that I want to bring in. Okay, so I can just drag it in. Did that work for you guys? I can also do a search with keywords. Those of you who remember that we put keywords on stuff, you can do a search with keywords. And this is just for the people who are taking that class. All right. So was everyone able to drag in one photo that you're willing to share?
Yes.
I'm going to actually listen from people who did not hear this. Okay. So Bill is saying no. So I want to hear from people who can. So if you got a file attached and a photo attached, go ahead, and one last thing, and then I'll hear people who had problems. There's one more choice you have to make up here that wasn't there before. This appeared now. It says image size now, and it wasn't there before. Why? It's asking me, okay, so this image could be sent small, medium, large, or actual size. And all of these are different choices. Notice when I change this over here, it tells me the actual size of this file is 4 megabytes. It's a huge file, ready for printing big. If someone wants to make a big, you know, 11 by 17 print of this, this will work. If all I want for them is to just see a little tiny view of what I'm showing them, small is tiny. 106 kbytes. It takes 1,000 kilobytes to make 1 megabyte. The other one was 4 megabytes. So this is tiny, but this is as big as they're going to see it. Maybe you want to send it medium, and that's the one that you want to show, just to show like my mom, oh, look, we were traveling and this is a cute picture. So you can send it whatever size you want it to send. If they're going, this is the important thing. If they're going to print it and they need it, you know, to do some real printing with it, you need to send it actual size. But for them to just see it, usually medium is more than enough. At large, depending on the file, can be fine too, medium or small. So see how each time the size of the file changes. Now, what's important for you to know is that when you send a photo, this does get replicated into your mail album. So this doubles up for you and for them. So there's no need to send them a huge file if they don't need to print it. It's fine to send a smaller medium, or they're just going to look at it. All right. I'm going to stop here because some people haven't gotten to this point. If you guys have gotten to this point and you have it, go ahead and send if you want. But now I want questions from people who said no, that this isn't working for them. So Bill, what's happening?
Sorry, I just, I go to the little icon for the pic photos, and it says photos. I click on photos and it doesn't give me any options.
Is it possible that you have your libraries on an external hard drive, maybe?
No, not in this case.
Um,
Well, wait a minute. I don't know that I've used any photos in this particular machine. That may be the
yeah, so
problem.
if you don't have the photos icon set up on this machine that you're using, that won't work, okay?
Let me
it'll be
see.
blank.
No, I've got some here.
All right, so I don't know, I'm gonna stop my share, go ahead and share yours and let's see what's up. While
Okay.
he's sharing, Marcia, what's up with you?
You know, because I had my screen not expanded enough, I didn't realize that when you were demonstrating.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get to see what you did, Dan. I'm lost.
Okay, so go watch the screen now because Bill's gonna show it again. So Bill, go to your photos, to your email.
Okay, here's the email.
So here's the email and see on the far right, there's that little icon and it says open up Photos app.
I did that myself. So
Uh-huh. No, yeah, so
did-
close your
can I do
Photos app,
this?
close your Photos app. That's not the point.
okay.
And then this little window opens up.
Oh, maybe
Well,
I wasn't seeing this.
yeah, but still open photos to see your photos in this list. Okay, so open your photos up. It would seem like you need to open your photos up. I didn't
Well, I
have to
was
open
before,
mine.
yeah.
Let's see, open your photos up. But no, let's see. It's not, no, go back to that little tiny window that says open photos app, the little one. Yeah, I don't know why it should be showing, but it's not. You did open photos. It looks like it's searching for different photos. So Bill has different photo libraries, which is something that many of you guys don't have. So I'm not sure why this is not recognizing it. So I'm kind of at a loss here. Maybe we need to connect
Well,
your account in a different way.
I could take one from here. Probably.
Yeah. It's always easy from the Photos app to email. That's not the point necessarily. I was just trying to show, but
Okay.
yeah, go ahead and put one in there. But is anyone else having the issue where there's not, where this little tiny little Photos app that, can you point to the one I'm talking about, the little photos? Does anyone else have a thing where you click here and you don't see your photos?
My photos aren't loading. It says photos, but when I tap on it, nothing happens.
Marcia, aren't you also someone who has photos on a separate hard drive?
Yes, but I do have a lot of photos in my photos program on my computer.
Okay, so then attach one of those. But see, people who have their photos library in a different hard drive, which is few of you guys, but then the computer here is knowing just to go into your photos library. That's all it knows. Can you go for a second into your Finder, Bill? I want to see if perchance you're open a Finder window.
Sure. Hang on a minute.
Yeah. And then go to pictures, one down. And here you have photos library. So you have like 3 photos library. You have the alternate photos library in the bottom, then you have photos library 2.
Right.
So it's kind of, I don't know which one it's actually accessing and which one you're
Well,
actually opening. So it's
This
probably not
is
opening.
This is the one that is, no, both of them have opened today.
Yeah, it's not so much that,
Here?
but which one is the one that's your active one that has all the photos that you're showing me
Well,
there?
now I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So how you would know is go down to your photos app. And this is a photos issue only, but I'm going to show Bill just because he has more libraries. Most of you won't have this issue. Go down to your dock again.
Okay.
Go down to your dock again. And now hold down your option key.
Okay.
And no, not, yeah. And hold on your option key and now click on the photo. Click on that and now click on photos. And then it tells you which one to open. Okay, it's been opening the alternate photos library. And the
Right.
computer is going to the system photos library, which is the one on top.
Oh,
Because that's the default one. See the system
Okay.
photos library. So if you're trying to get anything to, yeah, so if you choose that library and you open it up, you might have nothing in there. Who knows?
no, it's,
The fact that it's going so fast, yeah, you don't have that one set up as a library right now. So
no.
that's why you're not finding anything. So what you should do, if you're not using this, what you should do in the future to your, ask me on Friday, but your photos library, the alternate one, you should set
Yes.
that one as your system photos library, and then it'll
Thank
work.
you. I'll mess with it some more.
Ask me on, go ahead and now when you try to open though, it won't open. So you need to do that thing again. Go and click with the holding down your option key. No,
Oh.
no, go down to
Notice here now, though, if I go here, now I have things.
Yeah, no, but it's not, it's still, it's pointing towards your system photos library, which is the one that has nothing. So
Okay.
all I'm saying is if you try to open your photos library now, it's not going to work. So go back down, hold down the option key and click on photos again. Yeah. And go back to your alternate and choose library. That way, yeah, now choose library and that'll be your fresh one. What you need to do is you need to go to the preference and choose it as your system photos library. Talk to me
Okay.
on Friday about that. I just wanted to leave you in a good space. Click on that one. So that's the last one open.
Thank you.
And that's it. All right. So Marcia, I want to share your screen. You
Oh,
might have
I
the
was-
same.
Sorry, I was able to figure it out.
Oh, you were. Okay, good.
Thank you.
So, all right. So now you all have hopefully shared your photos. So hopefully you've sent this one. I'm going to send it small and I'm going to say send. And so now everyone here, I have now received. So everyone send that email. Okay, send that email. And now you should have a photo. Like right now, I only have a photo as an attachment here from Anne. And you can see here that there's an attachment. See how I see a little tiny click on this thing that I just received? There's this little clip on it. That means it comes with an attachment.
If you double click on the folder,
What's that?
if you double click on the folder, it's a screenshot.
I double click on what? I'm sorry, Anne.
On the attachment.
Double click on this one. You mean? No, I don't know what you're saying.
The one that just has the blue folder on it.
Oh, you sent me another one? Oh, down there.
And she sent
Okay.
me one too. I
Got
don't
it, got
know.
it. I see Anne, so here I see a folder. And I open it up and you sent me two photos in your folder. Okay. Let me close that up. Here's a photo. So most of you guys managed to send me a photo. Okay. I don't see any. I tried to send two things out. Look here, I sent both a file and a photo, but no, I'm not sure that you all knew to send two things because I'm seeing only one thing attached. Here, Jeannie sent me both a screenshot and a photo. Here I have a photo and a file. See, Sarah sent me a photo that's a screenshot and she sent me a file, the test file that we did the other day. Good idea there. Okay, so I have both types of attachments in this one. Debbie sent me a scribble, cool, which is an attachment. Okay, a screenshot. All right, and here it tells you that when you got something.
Diana,
Okay. Is
Diana.
everyone receiving and sending? Yes.
I click on the clip and hit on what was on the clip, but when I reviewed what I sent, it
Uh-huh.
doesn't show any clip.
Well,
I-
this is what you sent, and I did receive the photo.
All right, okay, I got it now, but because I went to my,
Mhm.
like when I send something to people.
Barbara sent
I click
one, Vera sent one. She sent two things. She sent the screenshot and she sent the file. Okay. So guys, the whole point is everyone by now, I believe, hopefully has sent one. Hopefully you, oh, cutie pie.
Hi, Debbie. Hello.
All right, so here's the thing. You all received something. Hopefully you all did the back and forth and you all received something. Now, what do you do with these things you received? First of all, the first thing I want you to know is that both Yolanda and I received it. And I know that both Yolanda and I received it, okay? I see that both Barbara and I received it. Now, I see that both me and Doran received it. This one was sent as a carbon copy. This one, on the other hand, she put both of them under the 2, okay? And 2, instead of sending them in the carbon copy, and sent them to carbon copy, to me, to Julie, and to Doran, okay? So that's equivalent as to send them as 2, meaning everyone knows everyone. It's kind of no different to send that way. So what's the difference between 2 and carbon copy? In actual fact, no difference, no actual difference. If you send to 3 people in the 2 or three people in the carbon copy, everyone knows that everyone got it. So in fact, so to say, as what actually happens, the same thing happens. The only difference between a 2 and a carbon copy would be if you're trying to prioritize that one person is the true person who should receive it, and you want all these other people to know they received it, you CC them. So for example, if it's my boss and I'm writing to my boss, but my boss's assistant also needs to know, then I'll to my boss and I'll CC the assistant, right? So then people know that this letter is supposed to go to, but I want 2 other people to know that to get the copy, because maybe the assistant's going to have to do the work in the end, right? Or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But in fact, it's all the same, to or CC. Doesn't make a difference. Everyone gets it. Everyone gets everything, and everyone knows that everyone got it. Okay. So say that you're trying to send something to someone and you know other people should know this, you CC everyone else. But if you're sending to just a group where everyone's at the same level, all the book club is invited to come to my house on Wednesday afternoon, you don't need to send to one person and then CC the other 5. You can just CC the other 5. Does that make sense? It's all the same. The BCC though is for when you send to a bunch of other people that you don't want anyone to know. And you can leave the 2 empty, or you can put yourself in as the 2, you can do other stuff. But if you leave the 2 empty, which is I do, then they're going to get undisclosed recipients in there. So they just won't see anyone. All right.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when you do know that you have a photo that you want to receive and you want to download it? Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go for this one because it's so cute. All right. So say that this is a photo that my sister sends or my mom sends of my mom with her grandchild or something like that. What do I do with these? Okay. So I can either look at them in here and just forget about it. Yay, cute. That's great. Right. I can go to this one and go, okay, that's interesting. Thank you for sending me your sample, but I don't need to keep this. Right. If I don't need to keep this, this photo now is in my inbox though, and it is occupying space on my computer. So if I'm done with this email and I really don't need to keep this because it's stuff that there's no reason for me to keep, then your best bet is just to delete that and trash it, right? Because if not, this stuff in your inbox, say sometimes I receive emails from my mom with like 10 photos of orchids that someone sent her. Well, that's great. Thank you, Mom. But I don't need 10 photos of orchids that are in my computer occupying space. Now, if they're the orchids in her house that she's growing, that's different. You know what I mean? Like I want to keep, my mom showed me something, whatever. But I don't need the 10 best places in the world to visit or something like that. I don't need all those photos on my computer. So the best thing is to delete that entire email. Sorry, Jeannie, I'm going to treat this as an email that I don't need to get. And I'm actually going to delete that one. Then, by the way, that's still in my trash, right? It's still there. So if I truly don't want it, I need to completely get rid of it from my trash. So I can re-delete it from my trash. And now it's totally gone. So sorry, Jeannie, it was just an example. All right, now it's gone and I don't have, so when this class is done, I will delete all of these because I don't want, now all of these are truly in my computer. You did send them to me and all of you guys truly have everyone else's photos. So if you don't need them later, completely trash them. But on the other hand, what if I do want to keep it? So I say that I do want to keep this photo. Or not, say that I want to just see it for a few more weeks. I just leave it in an email. That's fine. And then later when I'm done with it, I can trash it. But if I want to keep it because this is like, oh, so precious, so awesome. It's my favorite grandchild, whatever. There's 2 ways to save this photo. I can save it as a file loose file in my downloads, right? I can just put it in my downloads as a file and it'll go into my file. And then I'm wondering downloads what to do with it. And then I'll have to say, well, do I want it to go into my Photos app or not? Or what's this? It's just a file. It's a file. It becomes a file with this photo. Or I can put it straight into my Photos app, right? So there's two choices you have here. You can download it as a file or you can put it in your Photos app. So look what's going to happen. I can right click on it and I can either save it to my downloads folder or I can export it to my Photos app. It's a different choice. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
My Photos app, it goes straight into my Photos app and there it lives. And it becomes one of the photos that I can put in albums and I can organize and I can print and I can put in slideshows, et cetera, et cetera. But if I just want to set it as a file, for example, what if this photo came to me because it's a client who needs to put it in the brochure that I'm designing for them. Well, I don't want it to go into my personal photos file. I just need it to be a file that I'm going to just use for this brochure and then I'll get rid of. Does that make sense, the difference? Like maybe you get something, I don't know how many of you get photos of a kind. Maybe you're looking to buy a house and someone sends you 10 photos of the house that you're looking to buy and you just want to see them and you go, I don't want this house. Well, you don't want to put that in your Photos app. Download them, look at them, trash them. But then when you're done, you don't need photos of 10 houses that you're not going to buy. Maybe you keep only the ones of the house that you bought and you put those in your Photos app. So anyway, that's a choice you make. But if I save it to the downloads folder, which is what I'm going to do now, then when I go to my downloads folder, there it is. Now in my downloads folder, I have, there it is. This photo that just arrived is the photo of Debbie. Now it's a file in my downloads folder. Does that make sense? And it's one more thing I need to handle. And for the most part, for most people, this isn't useful. Why would you just have a photo in your downloads folder? Most of the time, I would recommend if you use your Photos app to right click and export to Photos. And remember, this has to be your system photo. And so now this folder just got imported. And now here it is. Now this is a photo that I have in my Photos app and I only have it one time. I don't have it all over the place. And there it is. Now it's there for me to put in all my favorite albums and all my favorite stuff and in my Christmas card and okay. And I can put it in a folder called Family and Friends and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's the ideal. I'm going to quit my Photos app for those of you. You don't need to open your Photos app. It's just that it opens if you do that. One more thing, you could also hover up here. So here I showed you how to right click on something to download it, but you could also have not right clicked. You can hover in this little gray line here. And then you have a choice here to save everything, to save it. If you do save, to put in a different place or to export to Photos, it's the same thing. Okay. And the quick look is that same thing that I taught you to do when you hit something and see it big. That's the quick look, space bar. If I were to have said quick look, that's what it does. It gives you this, that's it. It just gives you a little view of it. Okay. So now I've downloaded her and I have her twice. Now I have her once in my downloads folder and once in my Photos app. And I also still have her in my email. So I have this photo 3 times in my computer now. It's kind of like, yikes. So be careful, right? Because I have it in my email taking up space because she sent it to me and I haven't deleted the email. I also have it in my downloads folder sitting there as a file. And I also put it in my Photos. So do I really need 3 in 3 different places of this? Probably not, right? So you guys be careful with that. You don't want 3 of them all over the place. Now, say this test file that Sarah sent me, same thing. I can either right click on it, save the attachment. See how this one doesn't say export to Photos because it's not a photo. See that? It's so I don't get the choice. I can only save it to downloads folder. I can open to get an idea of what it says, et cetera, but I don't. And so be careful. This is what you don't want to do to files that you don't know. So spam, this would be the worst thing, to open something attached to spam, because there you go. You've installed the virus in your computer. So don't open anything to attached to a file or download anything attached to a file, that an email that you don't know whose it is, because that'll be spam and that'll be a disaster. I could also have gone over here and see it's showing me there's 2 things to download and I can just download both. Now it does say export to Photos. Why? Because one of these is a photo. This one's a photo and this one's not. So when I right click on this one, it doesn't let me export to photos. When I right click on this one, it does let me export to photos because this is a photo. Okay. So it depends on what you receive, what you do with it. Okay. So now I personally know that I have Debbie's photo in my downloads folder right there. I also have it in my email and I also have it in my export. And you know what? I'm done with this one. I really don't want the one that I downloaded. So now I'm just going to go ahead and move that one to the trash. So now I still have her as an email and I still have her in my Photos app. She's still in my Photos app. That doesn't delete it. Okay. Now from here, if I don't want this to sit in my email anymore, then I would have to delete the email. Okay. So say this came in with a really nice letter or something, then it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to delete the letter because I wanted the text of the letter. Sometimes you just really want to keep the text of the letter. Did anyone write anything to me? I think somebody, okay. So say that this is a really cute thing that got written to me. Maybe someone wrote a very important email to me. Is there a way to save this as a file? Okay, let me see. Something that makes sense to save as a file. So for example, this is a meeting. There's all this important information. I'm not going to save this one, but there's stuff I really need to know about negotiations, stuff like that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that for one of your guys' emails. But sometimes you want to save all the, oh, here, retirement benefits counseling, and say I need this information that I don't want to keep as an email. For some reason, I want to keep the email. It's rare. I rarely do this, but now and then you want to keep the entire email as a file, because guess what? This email that arrived today at 10:19 a.m. Can you imagine if it's a really important email and I want to find it 3 years from now? If I didn't delete it, I'd have to go find anything that Charles ever sent me. And I'd have to go find and go, oh, that email where he wrote this recipe for the sweet potatoes that he made on Thanksgiving. He sent it to me about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know. And maybe instead of attaching a file where I could have downloaded it, he just wrote it in his email, like a text. He just wrote 3 eggs, 2 potatoes, whatever. So I need to go find it. So instead, I can now, let's call this the sweet potato recipe. I can save this one as a, and this email itself as a file instead of as an email. This is rare, but some people have asked me about this a bunch of times. So if I want to not have to leave it in the email and I want it as a file, I can go up here to the very top, to the file. Okay, I have to select it right there. It's selected. I go to File, Save As. Or I can just export as a PDF. If I save as, I can save it as a PDF. I export as a PDF. So if I go to save as, and it's going to pop open in a second. Computer's slow. Come now. Hello. Hello. There it is. And so it'll be saved as the first letter of the email. Hi, Deanna. So now I can call this one sweet potatoes from Charles, right? Because that's the one that he made on Thanksgiving or 2019 or something like that. I'll call it something and I'll choose where to save it. And I can choose what format to save it at. Now, I don't necessarily recommend much of these, but rich text formats would be the best one. It'll open in any text document. So I can do that and I can choose where to save it and I can go, well, I want to put this in my documents under recipes. So I'm going to go to, testing for class and I'm going to save it right here. Okay, so I choose where I want to save it, or I can just throw it in my documents loose, or I can put it on my desktop and I'll say save. Plan B, I can just export as a PDF. And same thing, it'll ask me where, exactly same thing, only this time it'll export as a PDF. So I'll put it again in my documents in the same spot. So there's the difference. One will be a rich text file, one would be a PDF. Okay, so now that I can delete, okay, I'm done. I can delete that one. I don't need that attachment anymore as much as I don't need any of those anymore. But now I have it, if I go to my Finder window in my documents under where I put it under testing for class, there I have my Hi Deanna PDF, which I look, it's a PDF. It's very good class. Or I have Sweet Potatoes from Charles, and I have it's in RTF format, which is a little bit more complicated, but I have it in 2 different formats. I probably recommend more PDF format. Okay, so now it's a file. And this is fine for people who really, really sometimes want to keep an email. You don't need to save every email you get as a file, because now you're doubling stuff. If you do this, go ahead and delete it as an email, right? Because then otherwise you'll have it twice in your computer. So, but right now that's one way where you can save things from your email so that it's not lost in, the 3 years ago's email that you got once or another. Ideally, he would have sent his recipe as an attachment, and let's assume that one of you guys had sent me a file as an attachment. I believe Sarah, one of the top ones, I think. So say this is the recipe, then it's much easier. I just save this attachment, okay? And I'm going to call it Sweet Potatoes from Sarah. And it goes in the same spot where I normally keep all my recipes, for example, testing for class, and I'll save it, okay? And then I can delete this one. I don't need the photo. She sent me a cute photo. I don't need it anymore. I got the recipe saved. Yay, delete this one. But when I go there to my recipes folder, now I have Sarah's recipe. And it's in whatever format she sent it. So that's the best way to send things. But some people still insist on sending important things in the text of the email, in which case that's your plan B, is to save it, the whole email. Any questions about any of this? How did you save it to your downloads? When you right click, you can choose to save to downloads folder, or if you just say save, it'll make you choose. It'll open this whole thing, and then you have to say where to save it. But if you say just save to downloads, it goes into the downloads, allowing you to let it organize it. I don't want you guys to change the save to, because then every single thing you save will be by default going into that folder. So it's easier and you will never know where to find how come the best friend's recipe ended up in your novel folder. So the safest thing is to save to the downloads folder, and then to organize it from there. When you go to your downloads, you go, okay, do I need this? No, let me see. No, I don't need that one anymore. Move it. Or yes, this is a really important thing, so I'm going to put it in my documents. Okay. You move from there. So like the other day, I downloaded these labels, templates for some price labels for my husband's pottery. They're still sitting in my downloads. I just downloaded them the other day. And now I have to go ahead and put them in the right place. Okay. And
Diana?
Yeah.
I am slow. I lost you. When you said you right click and then you choose say to download, how did you do that? Can you just
just hover over the thing you want to save, right click, save to downloads.
Oh, I see. Hover to what you want to save, right click, and
on a photo, it's easy because you click anywhere on the photo. When it's an attachment, and I just got rid of Sarah's, but someone else will send me some of you guys had sent a file. Here. So Vera also attached this file here, which is a PDF. Okay. So then I click on it. But when you see it, it's easy. Where it's not so easy is when it's a closed file. Let me go and undo the trash where I had trashed Sarah's. There it is again. I just did a Command Z to undo. So when it's just a file like this that doesn't necessarily have anything to show, then I right click on the file itself. Okay, it's easy, obvious to anywhere here works, but on this I have to go point to that thing and then save to downloads folder like that. Okay, did that work for you now, Yolanda and everyone?
No, I just listened because I didn't. When I did that, I only had like 3 choices, and you had several choices.
So do you want to tell me what your choices are, or do you want to share your screen?
Okay, I have to.
Let me stop my share and you share my screen. Anyone else who doesn't know or have, this is usually this is a good question, knowing what to do or not to do.
So let me see.
Okay, go to your email.
Go to my
Diane, I
email.
have a question when you're,
Yeah, and
Um,
then go to your email and click on, yeah, that from Vera. You're seeing it so small, but there you go. Okay, so go to
Send.
one of the ones that you just, no, that's what you sent. So go to your inbox. Go to your pipeline inbox. Just click on pipeline. That way we don't have to see all your personal stuff arriving. There you go. And there's Vera at the top. She attached a photo. So go to the top one. There you go. And she sent these to you. So now you can right click on it
Right click.
and save that to your downloads folder.
I see. Save to downloads folder. Okay.
Okay, the same with the Essential Lightroom. Don't go and save more. One is enough. That way you don't load your downloads with stuff you don't need. But just do at least download one to test how to download from an email.
And
Something
then
that
I
was
can
sent to
delete-
you. And then you know that it's, so when you want to go find it, a lot of the times people, yeah, and then after that, you can delete it if you're ready. If you got everything you need, then you don't have to have it in there anymore. Got it? And because now you have it twice. You have it in the email and you have it in the downloads folder. So that's weighing twice. And that's why the email window the email gets so big. The email file gets so big. If you go and search where things get what big folders you have that you didn't think you had a lot of, it could be in your email if you guys send and receive a lot of photos or movies. Forget it if you get videos from people. Another thing that my mom sends me a lot are little videos of, like I said, best places to see or most beautiful mountain things. And it's like a little slideshow, like the ones I taught, a little slideshow of little things coming by. Those weigh a lot. And every time I leave one of those without deleting, that just adds to all the stuff that stays in my computer. So that kind of stuff, watch them, enjoy them. And unless there's something that truly touches your heart and you need to see every day or often you want to see again, then you can just delete it. And that way it won't sit clogging up your email with really heavy files.
That is really good to know. I want to thank you for that because I have one email that I have some important stuff in there, but the email server would email me and said, we have removed this and this and this because something like that. And I wanted to save some. So when you put it on the download,
then it sits in the downloads.
then you will be able to decide whether to trust it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So maybe you received papers because you just bought a house and you received a lot of paperwork. Well, you need to download those things. Don't keep them in your email. Download them and put them in where they belong. You know, you receive stuff from your accountant doing taxes. I mean, all that stuff you shouldn't keep in your email. You should download it and put it in your computer in the right place as a file that's retrievable. Because yeah, you're not really in control. Normally things don't disappear from emails, but sometimes the email servers have problems. As I said, once I didn't use an email account for a long time and someone else told that story too. They just trashed everything I had in it. I don't think they do that anymore. In the past, server space was much more, important. But I think if you go for like 4 years or something like that without using your email account, they will delete whatever's in it and stuff like that. They'll assume that the person moved on, never uses the account, died, who knows, and they'll get rid of it. So yeah, things that you really want, you should download, but don't clog your stuff because then you'll have it twice. If you downloaded it, know that it's downloaded and delete it from your email. If it's so very important, like it's the house, mortgage house you just bought, keep it in 2 places. Who cares if you use more space for really important places, things like that. But for everything else, delete it. All right.
Thank you.
All right. So Barbara, your hand is up. Is that a new hand or one from before?
yeah, oh gosh. You were saying about Google being nosy or whatever. So if you use Gmail, just stay away from Google when you're on a computer, use Safari or whatever. So how about the Google Mail account?
I mean, just about everyone has
What
a
it
Google
is
Mail
I need to
account.
make another email account and I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
who to go with.
I have Gmail accounts. I already have the whole iCloud system, so I use iCloud.
email?
Sorry, Apple as email. My me.com is an Apple email. You guys can use your iCloud account. I have Gmail accounts. If you look at all the accounts I have like 4 Gmail accounts. I have 1 Yahoo. I never used Yahoo again because for a while it was really bad. But it's my first email I ever had. Well, the first email was like Earthlink, who knows, or something like that. Then I had a Yahoo. It got full of junk. So I then went and used the Apple one. But Yahoo is fine too. I mean, they're all going to be just as unprivate in the sense that no one sees your emails. That it's not unprivate in that sense. But once you enter the world of Google, if you have a Google email, you also have a Google Drive account. You also have a Google everything. There's not necessarily good or bad. It's just the main concern is when I say be careful with Google, is that if you're using, we haven't really talked about, I'm going to hide my mail. I haven't really talked about it, but when you use it as a browser, okay, as a browser, meaning to go onto the internet with it. So right now I use Safari as a browser, and Safari over the last few years has become really good, especially the last 2 years, I'd say. They wanted to separate themselves from Google, in that Google basically tracks every breath you take online.
Right.
So Google Chrome, not having a Google email necessarily, but Google Chrome, the browser, which in this version, so let me,
I seem to go back to Google because
So-
that's where my bookmarks are. I haven't created all those bookmarks.
So
into
Google-
Safari.
You can import them. But so here's Google Chrome. And as soon as I try to open Chrome, because I already have it, it says set as your default browser. So that's what it's already trying to do. Help make it better by automatically sending usage crash reports to Google. Take all that stuff off because that just gives them more and more information about you. When you start Google Chrome, and this is just because I have never started on this computer yet, it starts with make Chrome your own, sign in. It just tries to suck you into this whole system all the time. And once you're sucked in, you're in. On top of that, if I were to go to say weather.com and they ask me, where do you want to go? And you know, it wants to know your location. Do you want to block it or allow it? At least it's asking, right? You know, it immediately wants to know where you are. So the moment you say allow, boom, this person knows you live exactly address. It doesn't just know you're in Santa Barbara. Now it says where you live. It's hard to avoid, right? So if I say block, I don't want Google.com to know my location. Well, guess what? They already knew I was in Santa Barbara because they're showing me Santa Barbara, right? So it's very hard to avoid any of that. If I go to CNN versus Fox News, period, immediately people decide if I'm a Democrat or a liberal just because I went to read either Fox News or CNN. And then I get on lists where this person from this email should be getting things from the Democratic Party and this person should be getting things from the Republican Party. You know, like it's just so hard to avoid. Google sells. And the whole point of Google search being so good, for better or for worse, is that it aggregates any search I do. If I look for Dalmatians right now, because I'm looking to buy a Dalmatian, guess what? Next time I go to Facebook, I'm going to start seeing little ads for Dalmatians, breeders. Next time, you know what I'm trying to say? It just tracks every single thing you do, every single thing you look at. It knows because it goes, ooh, you're interested in Dalmatians? You're now like being stashed as someone who's interested in not only Dalmatians, but maybe you're all interested in dogs. You go, you know, people, you're gonna start getting little like ads for poop bags and leashes and who knows what, right? The difference right now, and I'm going to close Chrome. So this is just how you use the browser. If I use Safari,
Are you sharing your screen right now or not?
Oh, I'm sorry. Everything I just did, I wasn't sharing.
Nobody
Ooh.
else says anything and I keep thinking I'm the only one.
I'm so sorry. I was showing all of this. Sorry.
I didn't realize it.
I was sharing all of this. So I was sharing that if you go into Google and you write, you know, Dalmatians and I just did that. That's it. All it takes is to search something. And now they know, and forget it if I actually click on the link and go to Dalmatians. I assure you, ask me in a few days and I'll tell you that I probably received somewhere an ad for dogs, Dalmatians, poop bags, or something like that. I was showing you how if you go to weather.com to find out today's weather, oh, now it already did before. The first time it asked me, the first time it said, share with me your address. And I had to say no with it, like your location. And I said, no, now it doesn't really know where I am. It's inventing, see, Graham, California. But last time it went and already had shown me Santa Barbara, right? So if I don't say weather.com, if I just say weather and I hit weather, see, now I already told it not to. There you go. I trained it and I told it, I don't know. You don't know where I am. Okay. So now I would have to write Santa Barbara, California. So now it'll give me Santa Barbara, California. But the first time I went, before I told it do not share location, it already had, it knew I was in Santa Barbara. So say I now look for cake molds, right? Whatever. Cake decorating, and I go to one of these cake molds pans. I assure you that I'll start getting somehow or another people will know that I'm interested in cake molds. Okay. And why? Because Chrome is tracking every single thing I do. Now, let me show you that when I went to Google and Googled cake molds, look what it tells me. One option is Google cake molds near me. How does it know near me? Because I shared the location. And look at the map. It knows exactly where I am. It knows that I'm in Santa Barbara. Come on, look, it's showing me every place I can buy cake molds in Santa Barbara. So they know everything about you. All right. So the reason I wanted to share all that with you is because, and now I'm going to share Safari. And Safari is part of this class. So this isn't something that I'm, I am changing right now what I'm showing you from email, but it's because the question that came up, we're going to be talking about this in Safari next. I have Safari set up where it doesn't track me. So in the last 7 days, Safari has prevented 100 trackers from profiling you.
Oh, cool.
It tells me that because they're trying to make a big deal of it. So they're telling you how carefully they're tracking you. So this is just the basic sites that just because you go on them, they just have your ding, this person checked me, bing, this person checked me. So Safari protects you from that. That said, if you say, yes, track my location, that website will track your location. So it's not like you're protected from everything here, but you're protected from a lot of that stuff that you don't even notice, right? So if you go right now into weather.com, it will, this time it didn't ask me where I want, it just asked me to search. It doesn't know where, and it didn't ask me the way Google did, which is, you didn't see it because I had said okay with it, which is, should I save your location? Now it can ask you, do you want me to save your location? And if you say yes, what's the point? Is that if I say yes, then look, it even is, look at that. It even came up with your privacy. See here, this site is trying to get my my location from me. And Google just gave it. I don't know if by automatically, I have Google set up to ask me. So it asked me, I don't know if it asks everyone, but Safari is warning me, your privacy. Please notice that this is the kind of data. So it's forcing websites now to tell, Safari is forcing websites to tell you if they're trying to track you. It's allowing you to say, no, don't track me. And it's allowing you in the preferences to turn off all tracking. By default, you can go to Chrome, to Firefox, you can tell them not to track you. By default, Safari tells them not to track you. By default, like the privacy setting in Safari is do not track. Versus in Chrome and in Firefox, you need to go and change the settings and say, please do not track. Like you have to make that concerted effort. That said, still Chrome takes like 200 bazillion thousand bits more of information from you than Safari does. Now, this is relatively recent. This is from the last maybe 2 or 3 years that Safari is doing this. So for years, all browsers were very, very invasive. Now Safari is trying to distinguish itself by telling you clearly that it's making a point of not allowing you to be tracked. So that's, you know, to the point that it's even telling you the sites that tried to get your location have to give you a privacy notice, et cetera, et cetera. So I prefer that. That said, you probably still are not completely 100%. If you ever want to be completely and 100% untrackable, go to DuckDuckGo. And DuckDuckGo is a search engine that does not track you. So if you don't, instead of using Google to search or anything else to search, go to DuckDuckGo, and you can do that even in Chrome, and then search here for Dalmatians, right? Same search I did before, and it will ask you where to go. But if you notice here, there's nothing particular about Santa Barbara because Go doesn't know I'm in Santa Barbara. So for better or for worse, would it have been better to do it where they know I'm in Santa Barbara and then you'll have breeders near you? Is it much more useful? Of course, because then you already find that there's 2 breeders in Goleta, 1 breeder in Santa Maria, 1 in Ojai. Versus if I go to DuckDuckGo, it just goes to Dalmatians in the whole country and world, and you need to say then Dalmatians, Santa Barbara, California, to see if maybe there's Dalmatians for set in Santa Barbara. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, but at least you are more in charge of it by when you want to. So the result might not be as accurate, but it's because you're not being tracked that it's not as accurate. So maybe you don't care about being tracked and you're fine with everyone knowing that you're interested in Dalmatians, because the whole issue of dogs is something that's so important to your life. Dogs are your life. Then why not have dog ads everywhere? It's fine. Like, you need to make their choice. It's not necessarily bad that they track you. It's just, you need to be aware of when they track you and when, and just be able to control it. Okay. So anyway, we're going to talk more about Safari later. Right now, I just wanted to speak to that concern. I'm going to stop that share. And I'm going to close Safari right now. And go back. I'm going to close also Chrome. Let me close all those because I want to close out of that. I wanted to go back. I have just a few more minutes. Okay. So now I want to show you in the
Does Firefox track you?
yeah, it's much less than Google, and it used to be the best one. Firefox used to be the best one for tracking until Apple decided to make it their cause. So Firefox used to be the safest one up until a few years ago. Now Apple is the safest one. Google has always been the one that they make their money. They make their whole, everyone knows Google because of their search engine. Google is the search engine. Why? Because you put one iota of information in there and it connects you with spider webs to everything. And so it's a really good search engine. Why? Because it knows so much about you. Why? Because it's been tracking everything you do for the last however many years you've been using it. So it's actually a very good search engine because it knows your wants and likes and needs, the kind of thing your household or your person does. And they're not about to give up on that, even though they say they do so overtly. It doesn't track. Even when you go to a private page in Chrome, you can ask for a private page. The history doesn't get tracked, but like anyone who searches your movements, like police or whatever, but like if you're at school and you're using your Chrome at school, your pipeline account, oh, they can trace every single thing. Like the school can go in and trace your movements, like employers can trace your movements, even though you're using a private account and stuff like that. So it's, yeah.
Well, what is Apple's browser? I guess I want to say.
Safari.
Okay.
Safari is the browser I was just showing you as Safari. And that's the browser that now is trying to sell itself as the safest one. And it is. Right. And it's and it really does ask you, and it asks you, do you want Siri to know things about you? Do you want Siri? And a lot of the times the answer is still going to be yes, because it's more comfortable every time you check the maps to have it show you Santa Barbara instead of having it show you London, England, right? Because you basically want to know things around Santa Barbara and stuff like that. But other times it's very obnoxious. So you make your choices. And I'd rather make my choice than have it be by default. But on the other hand, it's not like you have something to hide. I mean, as I said before, the moment you use your credit card at a grocery store, they already know that you're someone who buys milk, and you're going to get in your mailbox, you're going to get discount offers for milk, right? I mean, truly, this is, I always give this example because it just shocked me. I went to a store I had never gone to, let's say Albertsons. I don't remember which one it was. Say it was something new. I was traveling. Maybe there was a brand name supermarket that I don't normally go to. And I went there to buy, and I remember I bought raspberries that day. We had, I don't know why. I swear to you, in a few weeks at home, I started getting junk mail from that supermarket with price discounts on raspberries and on all kind of fruit. And I was like, oh, you know, the moment you put down your credit card, they track you. So I'm not trying to make this sound horrible. It's just that
Yes.
there's nothing, you know, what you search online is much more private, in fact, than what purchase you did at a supermarket, right? But so, you know, do you need everyone to know that your pet just passed away and you're searching for humane ways to, I mean, whatever, you don't want them to know everything. You just search, and there's not necessary for the entire world to know everything. The entire world being commercial, not private. It's not like I'll know what Sarah searches, but Sarah's pet passed away. If you search anything about that, you know, suddenly you're going to get little, like, you know, information about how to, you know, cemeteries for pets or stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's very invasive in that sense. On the other hand, you're full of grief. Do you want to know about a good way to bury your pet? Yeah, why not? So you choose. Maybe it's good. Okay. Last thing. Let me head back to share. This is the last specific thing about mail. I was going to start with contacts, but we did Safari. We need to do both contacts and Safari. So we kind of started with Safari. So we'll do it contacts next class. We have 2 more classes, okay? So next week. So I'm in mail again. And there's one more thing I haven't talked about, which is this mute. You see the little mute button there? It's a little bell. I don't know if y'all have it turned on or not, but I have a little bell up there that says mute. Also, I can click on something and one of the options is mute. We haven't talked about mute yet. So let me explain mute. Have you ever been in one of those threads where, God, it goes back and forth and back and forth, and there's tons of people in it, and everyone's like answering, yes, no, I can't, yes, I can. And you, if you're interested in that, because it's your book group meeting on Wednesday, you want to be about it. But have you ever been in a situation where you really don't want to hear from this group again? That's my alarm. See, I had an alarm telling you my class is ending in 1 minute. So you can just mute that thread. You can just go, I'm done with this thread. I want to stop hearing about this. It used to be more, there's so many other ways of communicating. I haven't been part of that kind of stuff lately. And I don't know because people are better about it, or if just that I've taken myself out of that kind of stuff. But you know what I mean, right? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Threads that go on and on and on. So let me show you a thread. When I look at my emails here, this is an individual email. This is an individual email. This is an individual email. How do I know? Because over here, I can see when there's a thread. What does a thread mean? Okay. I know class is ending now. You can stop alarming me. That's so see this little 3 over there? I know that there's 1 initial email and 2 responses. So when I click on that, here's the thread. Here's all the emails, the initial one and the response from one person, the response from another person. If I go here, there's another thread, the initial one. And this might be confusing because people who are accustomed to threads in Google Mail, the threads show up where the top one is your newest one and the bottom one is your oldest one. And by default in Apple, it's the other way around. The top one is your initial one and anything new pops underneath. So if you've been using Google Mail, the threads gets a bit confusing because by default, they opposite each other. You can change that both in Google or in Apple. You can say, I'm more accustomed to seeing the new one pop on the top or pop on the bottom. You can change that in the preferences. But by default, this is a thread. This means that the original one came first, November 29th at 1:34 p.m. I received it. Someone answered November 29th at 8:49 p.m. And then someone answered again at 10:42 p.m. So this is the last one that arrived in this thread. Does that make sense? So if you look over here and you have a little number, it tells you all the threads. So here there's two. There's the original one and there's a response. So when I click, the first thing I see is the new one. But if I want to go see what's this person talking about, I can move up and go, oh, that's what they were talking about. Like that's the entire thread is there. Here I have 7 people in this thread. And this is an email that I sent in March to someone. And this happens to me sometimes. This is an email from March. But guess what? A new student wanted to write to me and they didn't know how to write to me other than doing a reply from March. And this is a student from March who asked me for something today. So she replied. So I hadn't seen this email. The last person who had emailed me here was March 30th. And then the other day, November 28th, I got a reply on it because that person wanted to write to me and didn't know how to write to me. So she just went to an old email from me and replied. So here's the thread. She wrote to me on November 28th, but the rest of the thread is from March. It was when I'm welcoming people to my Photoshop class. So it's like from a long, long time ago. And I have a ton of emails in here because it's a thread of 7 people. Does that make sense? So I still see the thread. Now, if you don't want to participate in a thread anymore, it's one of those where there's 20 back and forths for stuff. Maybe it's a political discussion. I don't know. People, I don't have that kind of thing anymore, but it used to be very typical people. Then you can just mute that thread. You can just go here and go mute. Don't want to hear from that thread anymore. You're you're going to keep hearing from that person. You just don't want to be part of this thread, just this thread. Does that make sense? It's like done with that thread. Thank you. Don't keep back and forth. And when this happens is when you don't see, when people CC. And every time you reply all, right? Because right here, I have 50 people I sent this to. And if I reply all, like reply all there, it's going to reply to all 50 people, all 50 people. So instead of just replying to the person who sent it to me, if I reply all, and where do I see reply all? Over here, I see these 2 arrows, or here, reply all. That would be a reply all. Reply to all recipients of this message. And so the threads can become interminable and that's precisely how you get a lot of spam emails as well, when you start replying all. If you have an answer to someone, reply to that one person. If I invited 10 people to my birthday party and everyone replies all to say, I can come, I'll bring salad. And someone else says, I can't come. And then they go, oh, I'm going to come. Then every reply, everyone's hearing all the details about everyone. If this is a small group and you want everyone to know that you're bringing salad and you're bringing wine and you're bringing brownies, that's good. But if it's a big group, 25 people and one person, I can't show up or I'll come late. Oh, guess what? This happened. Oh, did you know that I bought a ball yesterday? Because everyone starts replying other. Suddenly there's this like, whoa, just mute that thread. Okay. So that's the mute. But you still keep hearing from them. It's just the mute. Okay.
Time
right.
for you to leave. It's time for you to leave.
Is it? Oh, 12:19. I went over again. You're right. Even with my alarm, because I was talking. Okay, guys, keep exploring your mail. Ask me any questions that you don't have answered yet. Thank you so much. They're waiting for me in the other meeting. Thank you, Bill. See you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
I'll
See you
catch up
Wednesday.
on those videos. I have trouble with Cox. I have to go over there today.
All right.
You have a good weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Okay.
Diana.
Bye, Debbie.